McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Well, good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. And you might hear a little in my voice. That's because I got kicked in the mouth last night. Last night, I do have a little, a little swelling down here below the, whatever tooth that is. It's in the back. It's next to that one you're supposed to get taken out that I have not. That's probably going to fuck me over.
Molar 18.
Yeah, back there. There's a little swelling back there. Because I got bamboozled last night. I got blindsided last night. I got attacked when I was not ready to be in a physical altercation last night. I was on WWE NXT, USA Network, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. And my boys and I, Pete Dunne, the incredibly tan and handsome British man who's known as the Bruiserweight, Oni Lorcan, the British psychopath, or the Boston psychopath, and then Danny Burch, the British psychopath from London. We were going out to talk to Finn Balor. Okay, Finn Balor is the reigning NXT champion, and he's been out for 6 weeks. So it was great to know he was going to be back.
Yeah.
We're a group of people that are very, we like hard work.
Absolutely.
And after you get your jaw separated from your skull, and then it breaks and you have to do a whole thing. There's a lot of hard work to get back. So we were intrigued to hear what old Finn Balor was going to say in his first night back after 6 weeks missing, drinking steaks out of smoothies, I said last night. Because that's what you, by the way, whenever you can't do that, right down through the wire, you're drinking every meal, and they put, the weirdest things into smoothies because people get sick of just doing like the fruits and the chicken broths and the stuff. At some point, whenever your judges can't get, like this shit, all right, you just gotta do your thing. They start putting weird shit in there. And I only know that because I had a friend that had this happen to, and I had visited him, and he was like 5 weeks into it, and that son of a bitch was putting sausage and bacon and eggs into a smoothie thing, and he was drinking it. And I was like, I've never been more disgusted in my life, but I'm happy that you've got the point where you could have little moons over my hammy here in the morning because you weren't able to chew for fucking, for the last 5 weeks or whatever. So that's what he's been doing, okay? So I was excited to hear what he had to say and everything like that, but also I was going out there to pitch what I thought was a very reasonable idea to him. Anybody that is involved or ever been a fan of the wrestling business could see where I was coming from in this. He's missed 6 weeks. We've carried the show for the last few weeks. It would be only right for him to show respect for the business to give us his championship, right? Like,
Frank it over.
Listen, we don't want to fight, okay? I don't want you to go back to, we don't have to fight, okay? We've proven that we could take literally every human out if we really wanted to. We don't want to fight. We're just here to tell you, like, hey, you're a good guy, okay? We thought you're a good guy. You got a cool leather jacket on right now. You look cooler than maybe any human I've ever seen in my life right now. And it's great to see you back, but you have respect for this business. You know what to do. You hand that championship right over to us.
Yep.
Okay, you know what to do. I was just going out to have a conversation with Finn. I got a lot of respect. I just told you I have so much respect for Finn Balor. Everything he did. What did he do? He goes ahead and says, well, it's not just me coming back tonight, by the way. Boom. And these scumbags, Undisputed Era, come back. And everybody knows who Undisputed Era is. It's run by that guy that came on the show here and pushed Ty with colitis and did the whole thing. He's got the long hair. He and I have had a little bit of history. His little crew comes back. They come sprinting down. And if you do recall, if you watched last night, my hair was perfect. Do you think I was ready to get into a fight at that time?
Oh, no.
Didn't look like it.
I didn't even have my fight face on. It was not a fight face at all. It was a, hey, let's have a conversation. They start attacking us in the middle of the ring. I was not ready. Obviously, I get surprised. I get blindsided. I end up outside the ring. And that little guy that we hate, that was right here, kicked me right in the suckhole twice. Twice.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That's exactly what he is. And also got thrown into the barricade for the first time in my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen it happen to other people in the past.
How'd that feel?
Those things are, I thought watching, like, a lot of
Didn't
give.
budge, did it?
I was about to say, a lot of give, probably. A lot of maybe, like, there has to be a little bit of some real pad, maybe.
Sure,
on
like a
there.
hockey board.
Yeah. It was not. It was not, by the way. I think I learned that relatively quickly there.
I thought we were gonna have a day off today potentially. After I saw you go into it, I was like, well, he's not gonna be all right tomorrow.
Face off the wall, foot to the suck hole. I just want to let you know I was surprised, and I'll be on my P's and Q's more next time. And William Regal came out and announced that my crew, okay, of honorable men, good guys,
Good guys.
great wrestlers.
Yep.
Maybe the greatest on planet Earth right now.
That's the best.
Will be fighting Adam Cole's scumbag group in something called War Games, which, by the way, multiple cages, multiple rings, weapons. Yeah, you guys are much more pumped than I was when I heard about this. Just want to let you know because it was a lot to calculate, okay? I was out there. I thought I was going to potentially become the champion without even having to do anything with a conversation. All of a sudden, I get kicked in the mouth a couple times, punched in the face, thrown into a wall, and then all of a sudden I got this British guy come waltzing down and say, hey, just a heads up, mate. Like, that's not your worst news of the evening is that foot to the mouth. No, you're actually going to be in the worst case state in the history of wrestling. I'm like, oh, great. Can't wait to do that. That's going to be busted. But then I quickly realized, like, look who I'm with. I'm not going to have to do a damn thing in there. No way. There's like, I guess there's like tables in there, kendo sticks, chairs.
Wild West.
They were running through. And it was all cow running through my mind because I have seen one of these before. Obviously, it was in Chicago last year where I cut a promo about it fresh off of a private plane from College Game Day, which I think had like, I don't know, 4 million viewers or something that morning because it was at Ohio State or whatever. And I seen it. And all those things are calculating in my mind last night whenever that British guy goes out there, William Regal, and says it. And I'm just like, well, goddamn. And that's December. That's not that far away.
Around the corner.
But I just want to let everybody know I'm ready, okay? Last night wasn't, okay? And in my first match, which we all know if it wasn't for that match, I'd still be an undefeated wrestler. I made a couple rookie mistakes. Won't see it from me again. That's why I'm a professional.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah. That's why I'm a professional.
Bill Regal just took advantage of an opportunity that he saw. And if we know anything about Sir Bill Regal, he will take advantage of opportunity and seize that for NXT.
Yeah, and that's what he felt like he did last night. I thought he was potentially taking advantage of a situation that was already taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was supposed to be a fun, casual, calm handoff, right?
Yeah.
Like a handoff of a title to me.
Right.
That's all that was supposed to be.
Seems fair.
Right? I even parked. They showed my park job last night. It wasn't the best.
It was pretty nice.
Yeah, we got there late. There wasn't a lot of spots. Get the nose in, here I am. How you doing? Thought about, because obviously whenever you pull up, there's cameras waiting at, there's 2 doors you can really go in. And whenever we're getting there, they got cameras waiting outside.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like whenever I came out of jail for that alleged incident. You know
ready.
what I mean? Where they were ready. And we went out a back door because, I was told that's a good door to go to. But I think the person that told us to go out the back door actually went out the front door, too, and told the news, like, oh, he's going out the back door. He's going out, because that's sure what it felt like. Because as I was opening said door, there was like a Forrest Gump, the big guy in the jacket, and Happy Gilmore at the golf tournament. They were with the cameras on their shoulders when I was there. It's much like that whenever I get to this place or whatever. And I saw him filming, obviously, and I thought about showing off my parallel park job. Could you imagine if I showed up? Could you imagine if I showed up, drive in there, I see him, and I roll down the window, I'm looking at it. 1. We'll do this in 1. That would be awesome. I didn't, though. I just got in there and we got work to do. But yeah, I got kicked in the face last night a couple times. Won't happen again. And in this match right here, the guys on the bottom are gonna kill the guys on the top. Yeah! Let's go. I'm gonna be undefeated in war.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not real war games. So that's why you always have to have the games on at the end. Because I do hear that your body is potentially going to go through war games, but it is nowhere near actual war. No games.
No games.
No, see,
No games.
You should have caught up with that one. I think you saw where I was heading there.
War.
Seemed like it. Games is what I'm in.
Yes.
But actual war, whoa, show respect.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to the show. Got home real late last night, by the way.
How's the flights?
No Wi-Fi.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no Wi-Fi. So then whenever you land, obviously, since I live on the internet, I just did something that could potentially be talked about on the internet. I spent all last night on the internet. And also the NBA draft happened.
Oh, yeah.
I had to catch up what happened on that. I think there was some action as well. Was there action?
Oh, yeah, there was action.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I had to catch up with. And I couldn't do that, obviously, till I got home because, there's no Wi-Fi on the plane because, sir, you're on a plane. But it did feel like every other plane we've ever been on has Wi-Fi. So at this point, if your plane doesn't have Wi-Fi, it's like, are we even really a plane right now? Should we even be deemed acceptable to fly? I think this is like whenever when you go to a bathroom and they only have the blow dryers.
Sure.
I think if you don't have the paper option for me to wash or dry off and walk off, it should be deemed like it can't work or not functioning or something like that. You know what I mean? Like for instance, I went to a gas station one time and the thing didn't have the thing to hold the thing.
Oh man,
You know what I mean?
That's
Had to hold the thing the entire time. That one should have been deemed not operable.
Can't use it.
Can't use it.
Put
right?
a plastic bag on it.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. Put a plastic bag on it. Or just somebody do a little due diligence and say, hey, it seems like everybody that is getting gas at pump 5 is much more miserable than everybody else. What do we do here? That type of thing. That's kind of what a plane without Wi-Fi is. It should be deemed not flyable at this particular point.
Yeah, it's 2020.
Might as well not have wings.
Well,
you actually need
last night's flight was very nice, by the way. There was
it?
no near-death experiences. And I will say, getting on the plane, we didn't know that there wasn't Wi-Fi. So we didn't know that there wasn't Wi-Fi until, I don't know, about 30 to 45 seconds before we take off. So that was a real, like, slap in the face real quick. And I was a little bit worried, obviously, because that's me, my thoughts, Foxy, and Foxy's thoughts. And just that's hour and 44 minutes. I don't have games on my phone. I only have one game on my phone. Foxy tried it last night. Great game.
It's an awesome game. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, Foxy's very bad at it. It's not really a game, by the way. It's like a simulator. You're driving a car basically.
It's literally how Pat drives in real life. It's on this little app.
Yeah, and by the way, very good at the game. Very, very good at the game because it is how it. So that was really the only option, but you get sick of that after like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have any games on your phone, you don't have Wi-Fi, and you're trapped in a capsule for like an hour and 44 minutes. I was a little bit worried about what was potentially going to happen there. Like, what am I going to learn about Foxy here? Because there's probably going to be some questions that are going to come, or are we just going to sit in silence, like that awkward silence? I don't do well with that.
Can't do that.
I don't do well with that. So we're just going to sit here, and we're very close to each other. We're just not going to say a single thing to each other. I've never been able to do that. It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it was.
It actually wasn't that bad.
I mean, I knew right when we heard we had no Wi-Fi, there was definitely trouble around the corner, and then inevitably you got kicked in the mouth and signed up for war games. So I knew it was going to be a bad night. I knew it.
I didn't even think about that, Foxy.
Yeah.
Probably because I got my head jacked off a goddamn wall last night.
brain bouncing around.
Didn't even get a chance to kind of piece it all together, how that War Games announcement could have potentially started as soon as we arrived at the airport.
Bingo.
By the way, 3/4 of a mile walk to the plane. It was getting filled up down.
They keep the non-Wi-Fi planes in the back.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
They also told us there was some maintenance being done, and anytime you hear that, you go,
The flight was late. Flight was late, right? So, I mean, there was like a series of things that all arrows were pointing at. Probably, I'm a big universe guy. Like, hey, I think the universe does things for you to go like, oh, okay, I understand that happened. I should actually look at that and be like, is that a sign or something? Yesterday, before we got on that plane, there was like 10 to 15 of them. Yeah. The most emotional text messages I've sent to my loved ones before taking off. To my wife, I sent her like this big long one about how awesome she is, and how much I love her and everything like that. I think I sent one to my mom, sent one to my dad. I was like, all right, here we go. Jay, I'm sorry, man. Jay,
he got it.
I should have sent one to Jay.
Telepathically.
Jay, that's on me. As I was sending it, we took off.
Yeah.
Couldn't send through.
Could not be delivered.
Because it was custom ones each one. So, yeah, there was a lot of signs. The walk, though, it was so windy, obviously, because you're on an airfield.
Yeah.
So it was
freezing your ass off.
Yeah, and I had short. Oh, my God. Florida is like 68 and perfect right now.
So nice.
We landed down there. Obviously, you get back to Wi-Fi, so it's kind of cool. Your phone starts ding, 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 or vibrating or whatever. And then we stepped outside, and it was just like, oh, my God.
Whoa.
Here we are.
Probably why all the birds go down there.
Yeah, smart. See, smart birds go down there. Dumb birds stay. Pigeons. There's pigeons around my house right now.
They're fools.
Yeah, they are. But they're also eating all the raccoons' food that my wife.
You got pigeons in the backyard?
Pigeons versus raccoons.
Well, then there were squirrels too. Squirrels have made their way up there too. So now we have like a family of squirrels, a family of raccoons, and then I don't know.
Speaking of war games.
War games.
Thought I saw a possum too.
Oh, the possum's a G, by the way. I learned about a possum. The possum's the only North American marsupial.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nocturnal, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I think it has a patch too. So marsupial,
that name
They played
dresses
dead.
it up, but be careful, man.
No, it's not a pet. Yeah.
No, the opossums, the teeth are very sharp.
Oh yeah.
Very
And
sharp.
they chew with their mouth open like they're fucking
yeah.
horses, by
They're
the way.
letting
Really?
you know.
When I'm sitting in the kitchen and they show up and they're eating, it's on the deck, like right behind my kitchen or
family
whatever.
dinner.
And it's a window that just separates us. You know what I mean? And you can tell when the possum's there because it's like a full crunch on that thing. They all use their hands though. It
Oh,
is
you're
like
telling me the wild animal didn't mind its manners and chew with its mouth closed?
That's at Nick Morodo, and you would think that even raccoons and opossums and squirrels, because they've survived for so long, they wouldn't bite the hand that feeds them.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think what they need to know is I am a guy that can't take the sound of people chewing stuff. Oh no. So although she records it and says turn the sound on to hear this. Anytime I hear that, I almost punch myself in the face.
Nails on a chalkboard.
The chewing sound is something I can't do. What's that called? It's called something. Oh my God, it's called something. I learned something about me.
Chewing phobia?
No, it's something.
It's not the fear of chewing.
No, it's a sound. It's like the sound of people chewing or whatever.
Misophonia? Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Misophonia. Yes,
Misophonia. Yeah. I've always been like that. And I've always felt like a bad person because like everybody else seems to be cool with this person eating like a fucking barn animal. And I just, for some reason, can't, my head just can't take it. So I'd always just move rooms,
Nice.
and not say anything. Like this is a me problem. I would always say like, hey, this is me. This is not you. I understand that you just can't, everybody else can seem to do it, but you can't chew with your mouth
You know what's
closed.
false nut?
Yeah, I understand that this is a me problem though. I'll go in there, and then just a couple months ago, now that we're in a society of hey, everybody, it's not your fault. It's a problem that we're in right now. I landed myself in one of those situations, and guys, I have a mental health problem with misophonia. Okay, it is something that just gets to me, and they haven't figured out how to fix it. By the way, there's exercises you can go through, and I assume it's. Forms of cruel and unusual punishment where you just sit with a bunch of opossums surrounding you.
Just listening to people chew.
Yeah, so I want to let you know it's to all the people in my life that I've walked out of meals and gone into other rooms, and I said it wasn't you, it was me. Mm-hmm. It actually was me, but it's actually you too. So fucking figure it out, dude. Seriously.
Close your damn
You know what
mouth.
else falls in that category though? Pen clicking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Typing. I
Yep.
assume.
Loud breathing.
How about mouse clicking?
Mouse. Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah.
that goes way back, correct?
Jay.
Jay.
Do you remember
Jay.
playing those games?
Jay,
All those
say
clicking?
It, say
Jay.
it, Jay.
Jay.
Say it.
Jay.
I'm sorry for your childhood pet.
Jeez.
Jay, I had this misophonia my whole life, I assume. So my anger with you with that mouse clicking, I apologize for it because it really was a me problem, not a you problem.
Subconsciously, that's why you didn't text him yesterday.
Bro, he would play potentially.
Now that he apologized.
Dude,
though.
he would play solitaire out in the kitchen. Okay, in the kitchen. Our house was a ranch home, right? So kitchen connected living room, little tiny closet, then my bedroom, then Jay's bedroom, then my mom's bedroom, or mom and dad's bedroom, then the bathroom here, and there was a hallway that connected it, right? So Jay's in the kitchen playing solitaire. And this is like, I don't know, probably 11 at night, midnight maybe. And Jay's the best solitaire player of all time. So Jay's clicking this thing.
Jeez.
And it's like, don't. And then you know when he has an ace, you hear you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was so loud, it echoed through I couldn't sleep. I was in my room, door closed, everything like that. All I could hear is click, 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 click. And I would, can you fucking play another game? God damn. Or can you slow down? I mean, can we do something? But yeah. I assume I'm not the only person that has that.
2001 was created. Or was conditioned, sorry.
Oh, so these kids these days, that everybody knows what it is. So you should have seen my first 14 years of my life. I had to battle through telling people, like, yeah, for some reason, I just can't. Well, get over it. I got a lot of that. I'm like,
You don't understand.
I don't know. I literally can't. I feel like I can get over a lot of stuff, but this one, I just can't do it. I'm happy it's a real thing. At Tone Diggs, speaking of a real thing, got a real game tonight.
Real football.
Real game tonight, Thursday Night Football. Arizona Cardinals go up to Seattle. They were getting 3.5 points earlier in the week. It's down to 2.5 right now. Kyler Murray, obviously coming off that massive Hail Murray deep ball to DeAndre Hopkins, and that's quite a high momentum wave you're on Sunday for this Thursday game short week. And the Seattle Seahawks coming off a bad game.
Couple bad games.
Yeah, a couple bad. Three. In the last 3 games, Russell Wilson has 10 turnovers, which is not normal, by the way, which makes you wonder, is Russell Wilson broken? And I'm really wondering that because Russell Wilson Physically, still has all the traits. Obviously, he can do whatever he wants to do. But mentally, is it over for Russell Wilson? And will the short week, maybe getting the bad game out of their mind quicker be something good for the Seahawks? Ooh. Or is it something like they haven't been able to get over it yet? Oh, there's so many storylines. So many storylines. Pete Carroll said that the boys are all excited to play Thursday Night Football.
Oh,
all right. So there you go.
That's huge.
Ready to roll.
Yeah. I don't.
First game went to overtime. It was quite a tasty little treat.
The Cardinals Seahawks?
Yeah.
Wonderful game.
Hopefully we get that again.
Kyler Murray getting points. Will this be yet another NFL week where the Arizona Cardinals break my heart? $71,000 parlay a couple weeks ago. Jesus. I love this, though. I love this Cardinals team. I love the Cardinals team. I like Kyler Murray. Very early, I was calling for him the MVP.
Yeah.
But it feels like they are a team that wins but doesn't cover. Mm-hmm. But tonight, they're getting points. So what do we do? I don't know. We got to get to a break. We'll talk about that later in the show. On the other side, we got Darius Slayton, who is New York Giants wide receiver in his second year. New York Giants, there's some stories coming out of there.
Yeah.
They're on a bye week, so I would assume the players are not around that situation.
Hopefully.
But I'm definitely going to ask him if from what you've learned about Coach Joe Judge, would he be a guy that would look at a 6'8", 330-pound man and throw hands?
You think it's like a Fight Club, though? They don't talk about it?
Well, I would assume most fight clubs in the NFL are probably not talking about fight clubs. F. Evil Lazito, what's your poll?
Yep. Which bet are we hammering tonight? We have Cardinals plus 2.5. We have Seahawks minus 2.5. We added the over and under. The over is at 57.5, and then under is 57.5. Right now, under is 8.4%. Seahawks minus 2.5 is 19.2%, and Cardinals plus 2.5, 34.2, and over.
A lot of people think it's the over. I heard a lot of people talking about the over, which makes me think probably the under.
Yeah.
We got to get to a break. Darius Slayton's on the other side. We'll talk about all things happening Thursday Night Football, the weekend ahead. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Conversations with you. It's Thursday, November 19th. Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM Channel 82. Mad Dog Splitzer. A perennial Pro Bowler, an all-pro, a man who's aging like fine wines, Green Bay Packers legend, Super Bowl champion, from Butte, California, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron
Please tell me that that's going to be a one-time thing.
What is the longest you've ever thrown?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Of course you have, by the way. Of course you have. That doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're 10-1. I have long hair. I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, who AJ knows Nate really well, and we both said this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and played pretty well and kind of changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed.
Yeah! My kids say, if they see him on TV, there's Uncle Aaron, look at that. Oh, Dad, is that Uncle Aaron's dog? I'm like, nah, it's a prop dog. They're like, well, what happens to that? I was like, I think he hasn't killed after me.
What the hell's wrong with you?
AJ!
I noticed this past Sunday, you were smiling, shaking hands, giving a lot of high fives to the boys on the side. What have you seen in this old footage that has rejuvenated your love? Or is it something else about this 2020 season that seems to have you just in a better headspace?
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months that have really been enjoyable and reminded me, given me perspective on life and in football to view things through the most positive lens I possibly can. And that's why I'm having so much fun. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. This show is, to get sentimental, this show is just another step in that, because I love Age so much. And Pat, I have so much respect for you and the boys. Like, this was such a fun opportunity, and now I look forward to this every Tuesday.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Bring das Juice. I think das is in German, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nine. Yeah. Dude, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Guten Hast.
Guten Nacht.
Du hast mich.
Great song.
Du hast mich. Welcome back. That's not the name of this song, by the way. This is Release Me, a club mix by Chova and somebody else. Shout out to them for making this and not giving us a copyright strike for playing it. Joining us now is a wide receiver for the New York Giants. He went to Auburn, ran a 4.39 40 at the Combine, but somehow was only a fifth-round draft pick. A man who's made a name for himself as being a great wide receiver for the New York Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Slayton.
Yeah!
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, War Eagle, dude.
See? There we go. Starting us off the right way.
Hey, it is always tough, though. It is always tough. Anytime we have a caller from Alabama, you always just want to go, roll tide, and then they, roll tide right back. But there is, I feel like, a lot of Auburn representation, too, that I feel like would be a little bit upset if Alabama was only to be known as roll tide country.
Yeah, I mean, we used to say the state of Auburn when I was at Auburn, kind of take over the state a little bit.
Do you know Gerard Powers, one of my good friends, former Auburn guy, he got his hand bit by the dog at Georgia. Did you have anything happen like that whenever you were playing against any mascots?
No, that never happened.
Yeah, he got his...
I don't think I ever got that close to the dog.
Smart.
Oh, that's smart, by the way. Gerard, very, very dumb for that decision. By the way. And I think he was celebrating too, so it was like a full moment. Yeah.
Uga took a chunk.
Yeah, took a bit his left hand. Yeah, I do believe. You can look it up. I'm not 100% sure, but one of my favorite stories. And I think his reaction was like, his dog, he's a good guy. Auburn, the team doesn't seem to always be in the hunt, but they're a good squad. Whenever you come out of Auburn, you run a 4.39 in the 40. You don't get drafted till the fifth round. Was that very surprising? Were you surprised by that when the draft took place? Did you expect to go higher? Did you expect to go a little bit earlier?
I'm a pretty realistic guy, and so I knew my production wasn't necessarily the highest. I mean, obviously I knew I had the ability, but I knew I'd probably be a mid-round guy because of my college production. So, I didn't think I would go in the fifth. I wasn't happy I went in the fifth, but obviously, I've done all right since I've
you absolutely have. It's been a hell of a pickup. The thought of Danny Dimes becoming the guy over there, and you two kind of growing together now, right? And I remember when Andrew Luck got drafted, we brought in T.Y. Hilton too, I think in the third or fourth round. But anytime you heard Andrew Luck talk about T.Y. Hilton, he was like, I love playing football with T.Y. Hilton. You and Daniel Jones seem to have a pretty good connection. What is it about him as a player? And do you think he's fairly judged outside of the building, harshly judged? What do you think the talk is about Daniel Jones?
I think outside our building, I think he gets pretty judged pretty hard. It's pretty tough being one in New York and then being the quarterback at that. So, but obviously coming in with him, right off the bat, I'm sure y'all could tell with Andrew Luck, DJ a super smart guy, obviously a talented thrower of the football. So, pretty quick, I knew he was going to be somebody fun to play with.
You get a new head coach this year, Joe Judge. And the first opening night, I think it was a Monday Night Football game, Fowler and Herb Street were calling it. And I think Herb Street went on to talk about how Saquon and everybody basically bought into what Joe Judge was pitching because the last couple of years, his New York Giants football hasn't been fantastic. What Joe Judge came in pitching? And whenever he recovered that fumble in training camp in the mud, were you guys forced to cheer for him? Or was that genuine happiness for him making that play?
Nah, that was genuine happiness. Okay. I didn't think he was going to do it. Everybody, we were having the rookies do it. The rookies jump in the mud and slide through the mud. And then somebody just started chanting, Coach Judge, and then it, picked up steam and he went and did it. So it was pretty dope. Pretty dope when he did that.
What is the culture like though with him? That I don't want to say is better but what is it different? What has Joe Judge brought into the building? Because it feels like, and I know it's obviously not been a dream start for you guys this year, but everybody says it, and I assume you guys hear the NFC East. You guys are in the driver's literally, and I would assume Joe Judge is pitching that like, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what has happened in the past. Right now, with the division we're in, we can get into the playoffs. Once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And he probably even said the Giants team was like 7 and blah, blah, blah. They get in the playoffs. They win a Super Bowl, beat the undefeated Patriots that, the organization he was previously from. But what is the culture that Joe Judge is bringing in there? And what is the conversation about, hey, we still got everything in front of us that we potentially want right now?
I think the culture I think he brought in a lot of structure, I guess is the best word to use. He's a pretty detailed oriented guy. He knows what he wants out of us. Obviously, we work hard, with all the stuff, whatever, the training camp stuff. But to be honest, everything we've done, whether it was conditioning or different drills or stuff, like he's really smart and truth be told, a lot of this stuff has showed up like in games and stuff like that. Sometimes in any part of football, everybody's done stuff where you're like, okay, yeah, this isn't gonna work like 100%. And then you get out there and you're like, wait a minute, like this kind of actually panned out the right way. So I think he's done a great job establishing culture and like I say, he's a really smart guy and hopefully we can keep this little streak we have.
From what you know about him, do you think he would stare a 6'8", 330-pound man in the eyes and say, let's fight? Did you hear the rumors coming out yesterday? Obviously, you're in a bye week. Did you watch the internet? Have you guys had like a team email that said, like, just to clarify, nobody was throwing fists at each other yesterday. We're just moving in different. Has that whole thing been settled behind the scenes by you guys? And you can tell us as much as you're allowed to tell us. Obviously, don't get yourself in trouble. I don't want to fucking burn a bridge with the Giants or you get yourself in trouble.
I mean, I heard about it, but I mean, I'm pretty like they said there was no truth to that though. So that's all I know about it.
Man. You know how much fun we had with that, though? There was like 10 minutes. There was 10 minutes where we thought there was a chance that Joe Judge, in a former NFL offensive lineman, was just ragdolling him. And then there was a full 10 minutes, and then everybody was like, not true, not true, not true, not true. I assume they had to address it with you guys, though, because anytime something like that gets out, the team should know what's going on. Diggs, what's going on?
It came out in camp that you guys had to do laps, and then we saw the DBs had tennis balls on their hands. Did wide receivers have to catch the balls with like mittens on or anything like that?
Yeah.
Nah, the DB tennis ball thing just came from just them, being DBs, they can't help it. They want to grab and hold, and you can't do that. Yeah. So had to put tennis balls on their hands for a little bit.
So that was something that in practice they were cheating too much. Joe Judge is like, I'm fucking sick of it. All right, tape some tennis balls to the damn palms. I'm tired. We can't even get any drills done. Or is that them trying to that was like a drill, like we need to stop grabbing? Or was it because they were grabbing so much in practice that it was a reaction move?
It's more so one of those things where it's like he's big on like stuff that gets you beat, right? So penalties, turnovers, stuff like that. So it was just kind of one of those things of you want to create habits, good habits. And so obviously not grabbing and getting pass interference calls is a pretty good habit to have, keep you from having penalties. So that's kind of mostly where it stemmed from.
It's also a good way to do like a handshake now that we can't touch each other's hands.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of tennis ball to tennis ball, you know what I mean? Maybe Joe Judge really created something there. Oh, pump. You know what I mean?
Stop hands.
It's Corona conscious.
Hey, it takes all of us, Darius. Don't you forget it, okay? I hope there's nobody in your house right now. I know it's a bye week, but you better be isolated for the next 10 days with no conversation with anybody, Darius. It takes all of us, dude.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the message across the league right now.
Yeah, they're locking you guys down even more, by the way. Just a little bit of a heads. I don't know if you saw that during your bye week here, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think you're not even allowed to look at your teammates at this point. I'm pretty sure you're not even allowed to look at each other at this point. What do you got, Ty?
Darius, earlier in the season, there was a lot of talk about the field that you guys play on being like an issue with the turf and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever experienced anything like that, or do you think that was just like a couple of freak accidents with all the injuries?
Yeah, I think it was just some freak accidents. I mean, SoFi is brand new. Nobody say. I mean, I know there has been a ton of injuries there, but that's a brand new turf field. There's brand new turf fields all across the league, so I think it just was more so coincidence that it happened to happen in our stadium, more so than anything.
Darius, you run really fast. What do you do? Do you do any weird stretches or body things? Do you do anything? Are you like super stretchy guy? Do you get like acupuncture and all that stuff? What do you do?
No, I'm actually it's just not. It sounds very unprofessional, but I'm more of like a just get up and take off kind of guy. kind of old school mentality.
Yeah, me too.
You hit like a little hamstring stretch or something, and then you just take off and go.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't understand the people that wasted like so much time stretching. I'm like, what are we doing here? You're going to be tired, but I didn't do enough cardio to do your warm up to do what we got to do here. But then once you get old, hey, Darius, just wait. Hey, I'm sure a lot of old guys have told you this. It's going to come. It's going to, and it's when it gets there to you, by the way, it's going to be like, oh my God, I got to stretch now. This is a whole new world. I'm going to have to stretch now at this point. It's going to come, Darius. It's going to happen.
Well, we got Golden Tate on the team now. Golden's, I think, in year 11, I think. And he's got a whole, like, the tubs, the stretching, concoction of, like, Tiger Balm and a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, man, let's put the pads on, let's get out to practice, let's get the show on the road, So hopefully that day never comes for me, but I'm sure it will.
It's going to, yeah. Because I was like you for like the first 4 years, and I saw Vinatieri. Vinatieri had like a 40-minute stretch, then like a 30-minute like deep tissue massage. Then he'd get in the tub. Then he'd go on the field. He'd kick a flat ball. Well, he'd do this whole running thing, and then he'd kick a flat ball. Then he'd get up to a full ball. And then by the time, that's like an hour and 30 minutes at that point, maybe 2 hours of warming up. Then he'd kick 12 balls, okay? And if we missed, we kicked a couple, which didn't happen often, we kicked a couple more, and then he would cool down for the entire time. I'm like, God damn. I ain't got it. I ain't got that in me. Because I would show up, swing. Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and go for it, fools. And then about year 5, it was like, probably should get in the tub today. Probably should. And then like year 6, you're like, I got to start stretching, I guess. I got to start doing this. It happens to everybody. And obviously that's the goal for your career, to be as long as possible. Is Golden Tate the guy you look at? Because you always hear coaches tell younger players, it's like, hey, see a vet, go ahead and just go in their back pocket. And whatever they do, there's a reason they're where they're at, and that's where you want to get to. Is Golden Tate the guy for you? And who are some wide receivers you've looked up to while you're coming through this whole thing?
On my team, yeah, I mean, definitely he's our oldest receiver. Sterling's been in the league like 5 or 6 years too, so he's got a little knowledge, but I mean he has everything, from there's just little stuff in football, just little tricks and stuff like that. So that type of stuff I try to learn from them. And then just across the league, I mean, obviously he's killing it right now, but Devontae Adams is a guy that I watch a lot of his stuff. I try some of his stuff. It doesn't always work, but he's really good. So he's one person I try to steal some stuff from.
All right, well, keep it going, brother. You're on your way. You play great football. Excited to see what happens with that Giants team. Feels like there's real momentum going. And in that NFC East, that's all you need, is just a little tiny bit of momentum. Yep. And it feels like you'll get going. Good luck. Sure. Thanks for joining us. And tell Joe Judge that if he's going to fight anybody, like, just tell us about it so we can we'll break the news or whatever. You know what I mean?
All right, got you.
Hey, War Eagle, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Slayton.
Yeah. Let's go, War Eagle. Woo!
So that happens sometimes with FaceTimes there. You know, where like the delay happens and it speeds it all up. So you have to like wait and like, okay. And then you have to listen very intently to hear what it all does. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Seems like a good kid.
See, he does. Seemed a little, I think a little reserved early. Didn't always get into. And then conversation went really well.
Probably knew the fight question was coming.
Oh, yeah. Had to.
Thinking about how he was going to respond to it.
I was told yesterday he was coming on the show today. And I was like, a guy from the Giants coming on the show tomorrow? And yeah, Darius Slayton. Well, I have to ask him about the fight. do the Giants know he's coming on? Yeah, everything's been cleared.
Oh, wow.
I have to talk to him about the fight.
Gotta do it.
I mean, what else are we going to talk about? And then, obviously, the conversation goes, well, Daniel Jones, the NFC. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but there's a massive fight today.
Fist fight.
There's a massive. And the way he answered it was basically like he was sending an email that was said there was no fight. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the building, right? They go get tested and then they go home. They're on a bye week or whatever. So, I mean, I could have pushed a little harder, I guess, on that one. But boy, that probably would have railroaded the conversation.
Yeah, he's a good guy. You don't want to get him in any hot water.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
And I want to burn a bridge with the entire Giants organization. But we covered it. Just want to let you know, we didn't take the easy way out there.
No, definitely not.
We fought the easy way by talking about the fight.
Took the shot.
That potentially happened yesterday, but didn't happen.
No.
By all counts. Emails to players, says no. The other 6 reporters say no. But Jason McIntyre said, well, I'll fucking bet's good. Who did Jason McIntyre talk to? I want to know that question.
I don't know, but I believe him. They definitely fought
yesterday.
I believe him too.
By the way, Twitter yesterday, I forget what was trending. It was either Giants or Judge or somebody was trending. And on the For You page, where they tell you, and then there's like a little breakdown of what happened. The reason why whatever was trending was like, hey, it was Jason McIntyre's tweet, and they're like, a fight happened between. I'm like, man, this has been debunked by a bunch of people, but this is a much better story.
Oh, yeah.
This is a much better story.
Twitter didn't put this information is false underneath the tweet, so it happened.
What do you expect, man? I feel like Twitter's doing fair, honest, judgment of that stuff.
Absolutely, and they didn't touch it, so it happened.
It's interesting. Let's go to Alex in Wyoming. What's going on, Alex?
Hey, what's up, Pat? How are you and the boys?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Hey, Pat. I just want to say thank you for you and the boys and the show giving the shout out to Josh Allen and giving him his due respect on the show.
Hey,
Anytime.
Thank you for being a sensible member of Bill's Mafia, please, for this whole thing. Because whenever we talk about Josh Allen, a lot of people say that we're haters. We're not haters, man.
No.
We think Josh Allen's really good. We love where he's at. Now, I will not say that he's a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
No, absolutely not.
I can't do it, won't do it. But I think the goal of everybody should be to become a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. And it feels like what Josh Allen's done from year 1 to year 2, now into year 3, he's well on his way. He's getting better and better and better. He's big, he's athletic, he's throwing the ball. Stephon Diggs is a good weapon. Cole Beasley's got bars and he's making plays. That team, AFC East, for the next, 5-10 years, looks like there's a real shot at that thing unless, Cam Newton, Bill Belichick, who has a time machine, potentially knows what games or what's going to happen in games, could do it. But I like Josh Allen. So every time Bill's Mafia tweets us, it's always like we show no respect. It's like, because we didn't say he's better than Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be tough to do, pal. We do it to the quarterback in Seattle too. And now do we want to have a conversation whether or not Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Russell Wilson? I'm not having it.
No,
not yet.
Can't do it.
I'm not having it.
Won't do it.
Won't do it. Anyways, what's going on, dude?
Well, I just wanted to say, being from Wyoming, I'm not a huge Bills fan, but shout out to the Bills having a great season. There's a couple other Cowboys that are making big splashes in the NFL this year. And first off, the guy you referred to is Joe Dirt Wingard, who picked off Rivers in that first game against the Colts.
Yeah, he's a Wyoming guy?
He's a Wyoming guy. And also middle linebacker Logan Wilson for the Bengals, who picked off Lamar Jackson just a few weeks ago.
Also from Wyoming?
Also from Wyoming.
Wow, Wyoming.
Jeez.
We didn't even know there was that many people in Wyoming.
They're feeding them over there.
Pipeline of NFL talent.
Wyoming's got more people in the NFL than I think most people would think they have in population. That is awesome for Wyoming. Now, where is Wyoming? It's over there, North Dakota, left of North Dakota, South Dakota?
Below Montana?
North of Colorado.
Oh.
But yeah.
Colorado's actually pretty low, by the way.
Yeah.
It's lower than you think.
Oh, yeah.
It's north of Nevada.
It's like sea level.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. It's definitely not at sea level, but I understand what you're talking about there. You're talking about closer to the equator level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is in the sea.
Common
not really there because there's also a lot of countries that The equator splits, hence Ecuador. But I understand what you're saying, Zito.
Ecuador. Holy shit. You learn something new every day.
Hey, thanks for the call, Alex. We just learned a lot about Wyoming there.
Wyoming's easy to, or the way I remember it is there's two like super square states, Wyoming and Colorado. Wyoming's the northern one.
Well, super square states are North Dakota, South Dakota, too, I think. Yeah.
Those are more rectangles.
Well, hold on.
Big
One of
shape
those
show.
is the other.
True.
What's a rectangle is square, but a square is not a rectangle.
Correct.
4 right triangles.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Fucking A, I'm on right now.
Geometry.
Did you take geometry last night?
What is going on?
No Wi-Fi changed the person.
Hey, I had to go deep into my thoughts, back to whenever I won that geography
Some
ball.
fucking mathematician's going to do a video breaking it down on YouTube about your goddamn squares.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Well, he's almost
Here's
right.
the thing.
Because this particular...
Click.
You know what, though? That doctor taught me a lot yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Brian Butterer?
Butler.
That is not his
Suterer?
Yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
Suterer?
Brian Suterer, MD. He, by the way, taught me a lot there. What's that, Gump? Benton sent the tweet. We figured out why we called the guy by the wrong name.
Benton Suterer?
It is Brian
Suterer,
MD,
yeah,
yes.
MD on YouTube. He broke down how a collapsed lung happens, which does happen in the NFL. It seems like, and by the way, learned something very real just yesterday. I'm not going to go through it again. Just know it involves a bunch of elbow drops on that goddamn lung. Oh, yeah. We're professional sports show, so we should have a sidebar for All right, let's talk about some things here. Herbert's haircut. This really captivated the world yesterday. Guy had a beautiful hair.
Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful hair. I think he was on path to get a shampoo deal. I'm not saying Head and Shoulders because they got Patrick Mahomes and Palamalu and a bunch of other people as well. But why wouldn't Tresemme or somebody else get in the game? Anything get in. His hair was very, very nice. He cut his hair, and it's turned out that the strength coach cut his hair. Is that what people were saying, or is that not true? The strength coach, by the way, if you do remember from Hard Knocks, is quite a character. Something for sure. The thought of that guy just cutting his hair, I'm intrigued to hear how the conversation came about. Herbert looks like he's potentially 16 years old. He looks 15 years younger than what he looked like with long hair, so I can respect that move. But he's going to wish he didn't do it, I think. Because there's going to come a time where he wants to grow it out again, and you're going to get caught in these middle stages. And because you're an NFL quarterback in Los Angeles, you're not going to be able to be in those middle stages because you're going to be doing things. You're going to have to cut your hair. And I'm only telling you from experience, Herbert. Listen, when I cut my hair, I thought it was the right move. Now, every 4 months or whatever, I want to grow hair back out, and it gets to a certain point, and you're like, got to cut my fucking hair because I got to go do insert thing here. So, Herbert, it was a good run with the long hair. You won't be able to do it till you retire, but whatever makes you happy, dude, do what you got to do. But your hair, you need to know, your hair was very good hair. And I feel like not enough people told you if you thought it was good. You had very good hair, Herbert. I was very envious of the hair, to be honest with you. But he looks like a very different guy, and maybe he did this as like a rally cap, too, I'm sick of winning these one-score games.
Yes.
Just cut it off, and maybe it'll turn the whole thing around. If they go on to win the Super Bowl next year or whatever and get going, because of his haircut, we'll look back on this much differently.
Have to get a new helmet and everything because it's not going to fit right.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome when guys cut off their hair. Oh, it's awesome. Somebody did it like a Friday night. They cut off, and they had dreads. So the dreads are pretty, they take up a lot of space. They come in Saturday morning, everybody's like, woo! And then you hear the equipment manager, need to measure the helmet. Need to resize your helmet. Just so, man, Friday or game, we're packing.
Is there any worry that Herbert might lose the locker room now that he has cut his hair?
I don't know.
Good question.
It is interesting. What was that thing that lost its hair and lost its power?
Hercules.
Medusa.
Medusa, right? Isn't that a Medusa thing?
Oh, snake
she had
hairs.
snakes on it.
Snake
Yeah,
hair,
yeah.
Can't lose those.
Don't look at her.
Thank you. I mean, it's going.
I didn't know she lost her hair until now.
Hey, listen, sometimes you hop on a tin that should not be where it's at, 40,000 feet in the sky, have no Wi-Fi, and things just start really coming back. I should do this maybe once or twice a week. What's going on, Dave?
How's it going, Pat and the boys, on this wonderful Thursday?
Attaboy, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
It is interesting about. It is
This is a big basketball show, right?
Yep, it is big basketball show. Go ahead,
Okay.
Dave.
Well, I want to talk about last night's NBA draft a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
First off, I just want to say I wish LaMelo Ball all the luck in the world, but I just want to say how much of a stooge LeVar is once again.
What do you do? What do you do? I didn't
wearing
watch.
that hat. He's wearing a hat that says, "I told you so." Just, how he usually does, taking the attention away from his son, putting it on him.
He did do that.
And
Yeah, he
after
does.
LaMelo got
By the way,
announced,
that's
he's hugging his mother. LeVar's looking right in the camera. He's got a mask on, but underneath that mask, he's just showing those piss-stained urinals he calls teeth right before LaMelo hugs him again.
This guy.
But I just wanted to ask you, have you ever experienced an overbearing parent at any level, high school, college, or pro, in the locker room with a teammate?
I don't think so. I mean, Tim's probably out there right now thinking like, "Oh yeah, you," but I don't think I had to deal. I don't think so. That's
Telling me Arch Manning wasn't taping Peyton's wrists every week.
I don't think so. I don't. That is interesting though, because LeVar Ball, he turned that family into a household name, right?
Oh yeah,
and very Vince McMahon like. Very Kris Kardashian like, Kris Jenner like, very, very like, and they made a lot of money off of that, right?
Yeah.
They made a lot of money off of that. That family made, and now granted, the Big Baller brand did not work out how they expected, okay?
No,
and,
sure.
I think a lot of people were a bit bummed about Triple B's not really coming to fruition or whatever, and potentially one of the founders just robbing the entire company blind right in front of them. But I was bummed about that, by the way, because I did buy most of their stuff early because I was excited about the whole family operation, what they were doing. You know, I respected what they got going on. But for him to continue and take the moment away from his kid, I think that's really where you start thinking about it. But then you also think like, yeah, but his kid is as famous as he is because of what the dad basically did. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a very balancing act there. I don't know how to... they've made a lot of money doing what they do, so that's just who they are. And I view everybody, though, that you have to remember, everybody in my life is just viewed as characters in a movie, and life is just the movie. Like, oh, that character's a hilarious one. Don't want to be friends with him. Like, hey, don't think it's a good, like, that's not a good. But when that character pops on the screen, it's like, okay, something's going to pop off here.
Well,
and that's what LeVar Ball is.
And it doesn't really matter anymore, right? Because he doesn't have any kids younger. Lonzo isn't like a transcendental talent, so people aren't going to really talk about him that way. Well, he's just not.
Yeah, he was throwing three-quarter court lobs to Zion.
Found his J in the end.
Yeah, he's throwing to a guy who is a transcendental talent.
Do we think Jordan did a spite draft pick?
He might have.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because didn't LeVar Ball say he beat Jordan 101?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'd pay to see that one.
Hey, by the way, that is awesome. And that is why LeVar Ball is LeVar Ball, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's all, you know what I mean? Genius. You don't have to love the person, just view him as a character.
I assume MJ goes at LaMelo day one in practice, for what
just
his dad.
out there?
Comes
Hey, send this to your father. You're better than your dad, right? Yeah. Okay, send this to your dad. I'm 60. Is he really?
Eventually get banned from the facility.
Oh, I thought it happened. I thought like draft pick. Also, your dad can't come to the whole city, the Queen City. You can't. Not even allowed to land here. It's gonna be like they're gonna ask him for his COVID negative test as soon as he lands, and it's just gonna automatically be positive. They're gonna send his ass out for the next 10 years.
Get out.
From Milan to Pittsburgh, Revtown jeans are the holy grail of jeans. A few guys from Under Armour quit their jobs and decided to make the most comfortable jeans on the planet. The guys took the stretchy athletic apparel fiber and the sweet comfort of sweatpants and partnered with the best maker of premium denim in Milan, Italy, to create a high-end denim jean. Every pair of jeans is $79 since they have no middleman. Think about that. They have jeans from Milan for $79.
Whoa.
Most places are charging 2 to 3 times that price for jeans like this, at least. We wear them all the time, and they really do feel like sweatpants. Head over to revtown.com/McAfee. That's REVTOWN.com/MCAFEE and check out their jeans. Again, it's revtown.com/McAfee and get jeans for more than half the price of their stupid, uncomfortable competitors. Let's go. Hour 1 on this Thursday, November 19th, wrapping up. We have Robert Matheson next one. Go take a shit.
Oh, too much. They really just inflate it back. Did they just send somebody down there?
I don't know the procedure, but I just know they reinflate it.
Not quite, Pat McAfee. Let's talk. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Someone sent me this clip from the Pat McAfee show the other day where he was talking about how they treat and manage a collapsed lung like Drew Brees had. And no real hate on Pat here. He's not a doctor. He shouldn't know. But they completely misexplained here what they do. And so I'm going to clear it up in this video by reacting here to what he said and fill in the gaps to explain to you guys how they really treat this with Drew Brees' collapsed lung.
Collapsed lung. How many lungs you got? 2?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're off to a good start. Pat McAfee's right here. We have two lungs, a right and a left, but within each we have multiple lobes. On the left side, it's pretty easy. We have a left superior lobe, and then we have a left inferior lobe. On the right, a little more complicated, but still pretty easy. We have a right superior lobe, we have a right middle lobe, and then we have a right inferior lobe. So 3 lobes on the right, 2 lobes on the left, still 2 lungs overall.
What's the deal? Everybody talks like, oh, punctured lung, not that big of a deal. Collapsed lung, not that big of a deal. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, usually a collapsed lung is not that big of a deal, but they can develop something called a tension pneumothorax, where that pressure builds up so much in the lung that it can actually push on the blood vessels of the heart, impairing your cardiac output, and can actually be fatal. So typically, yeah, collapsed lungs, while very painful and needing management, aren't always life or death. They can develop into a tension pneumothorax, which actually can be fatal. So they have to be taken very seriously nonetheless.
It's a couple. They work together.
Oh, so you tag team each other? Or
I believe so.
Tag one in,
Yeah.
tag one in?
Good point here too. The lungs do work together. There are people who can have a lobectomy, where they essentially remove one of those lobes of the lung, and you can still get enough oxygen perfusion to your blood. So yes, when someone has a collapsed lung, they can still get enough oxygen for kind of vital functions, but you're going to feel very short of breath, and it's going to be super painful.
One picks up the slack.
And when the one collapses, how come do they just send like people go over there and just like take a plunger and like bring it back?
They
Like,
inflate it.
How's it work? How does the lung?
All right, so they do not just re-inflate the lung whenever somebody has a collapsed lung, and this is kind of the biggest misconception here from his video.
We went to high school with a kid who had a collapsed lung in a game, and they
Also note here, I've had multiple collapsed lungs, so I've kind of been through this in terms of the symptoms and how they treat it, so I have a little bit of experience, unlike a lot of the other sports injuries I talk about.
inflate it, and then you're out for
What?
blow it up like
Send
a
something
balloon.
down like a bed, like an air mattress.
Exactly.
And you got somebody just stepping on it.
Yeah, it was like in Space Jam, right?
And then they check the PSI and then they puncture it. You know what I mean? With the thing. Oh, too much.
All right, so I know Pat's kind of joking here, probably intentionally, but might not actually understand how we actually treat these. No, you don't go in and re-inflate the lung when the lung collapses. What you do is you suck the air out of the space around the lung, which allows the lung to re-inflate itself. Our lungs are surrounded by this layer of tissue called a visceral pleura, and then there's a parietal pleura that's on the inside of the chest wall. There's a potential space in between those two linings, and that potential space is actually at a negative pressure with normal breathing. When you have a collapsed lung, what's happened is there's air that's escaped the lung or gotten in from the outside of the body that goes into that potential space, and the pressure goes up. As the pressure goes up, that increasing pressure actually pushes the lung inward. So it's not really that the lung collapses, so to speak. It's more so that the lung is getting pushed to collapse because of the pressure in the chest building up from excess air. What they actually do to treat these is, if it's an emergency type of situation, they'll take a needle with an empty syringe and they'll stick that into the chest to allow that pressure to blow out and escape from the chest wall to let the lung reinflate. When somebody puts a chest tube in, it's trying to drain the air from the chest cavity, so you're not putting air back into the lung to pump it back up like an inflatable bed. You're pulling the air that's got into that space out so that the lung can reinflate itself.
They really just inflate it back. Do they just send somebody down there?
I don't know the procedure.
So again, no, they don't send anything down there. They come in from the outside, they put a needle in, they put a tube in. That allows the air to escape, which lowers that pressure and lets the lung reinflate.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 of this Thursday, November 19th, 2020. Pat McAfee Show begins right now. I wonder how they made that sound right before the beat drop there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty good by Twine there. Thanks for that, man. Hour 1, we talked about a lot of things. Obviously, talked about the game that's coming up this evening, Thursday Night Football, NFC West matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. Ooh. Currently, Seattle Seahawks are favored by 2.5 points. The Cardinals are getting 2.5 points tonight as they make their way up to Washington to play the football. Their first battle this year went to overtime.
Yes.
What will happen tonight? Do you take Kyler Murray in the points, or do you think that Mr. is going to go back to playing football the way he played before the past 3 games that have 10 turnovers totaling them? Short week, the Seattle Seahawks just got beat. The Arizona Cardinals just won an absolutely magnificent game in thrilling fashion. Short week. Who will that benefit? Who will that hurt? Who wins tonight? Who plays well? To join us to talk about all that, ladies and gentlemen, 9-year NFL vet and host of the Man to Man podcast, Darius Butler.
Yo, what's happening, fellas?
You were a Lakers fan, weren't you, just a couple of months ago?
Oh, no. LeBron fan and the Heat fan. Come on, man.
Okay. You got your Miami Heat hat on today. You had your Miami Dolphins hat on the other day after winning 3 straight games. And I saw you check receipts on yourself like 2013 or something like that. The
2010, 13, as far as back as this thing goes, man.
You were tweeting about being a Dolphins fan, but I think now that we know you, we should also check the other teams to see if you were tweeting about because there could have been a month or 2 there where you were a Dolphins fan, and then that could have changed maybe the next month or something like that. People are saying, Darius. People are saying.
Nah, man, that's all fake news, man. I've been a fan of all South Florida teams my whole life. Obviously, took a Dolphins break from 2009 to 17.
Football,
but been a fan outside of that.
How about tonight? There's an actual really good Thursday Night Football game here.
Finally.
Hold on. Last week was Colts Titans. Have a little respect. But you're right though. Yeah. This is 2 weeks in a row where we have real games that matter here. AFC South last week. Now we got the NFC West, which by all accounts is the best division in football right now. Oh, yeah. Arizona Cardinals come off of that deep ball win. Hail Murray with DeAndre Hopkins making a play that was insane. Also Kyler Murray. Seattle Seahawks are coming off of 3 games where Russell Wilson has 10 turnovers in them. How do you see a short week working here? Who does it help? Who does it hurt? What do you think happens in tonight's game, Darius?
Man, it's tough to pick against Russ again and think he's gonna lose another one. But I think Kyler Murray and those Cardinals gonna get him again tonight. Coming off a big win over a really good Buffalo Bills team. The Seattle's banged up in the secondary. Both starting corners are out, and they've been pretty terrible in the pass defense area anyway all year. You come in, Kyler Murray got that 285 over-under number, so I think he's going to throw over that. Russell's pretty high up there, like 315, 314 and a half, I think. So I'm taking Kyler Murray. The Cardinals to win, and I'm taking Kyler Murray to hit that over tonight against the Seahawks secondary.
You got them winning. That's a pretty good bet, too. Money line's like plus 125 or plus 115 for the Arizona Cardinals. That's good money, good bang for your buck. I like that bet as well. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have lost me a lot of money this year, though, right? Because I've been a believer in them, and I've bet them on very regular occasion. Just a few weeks back, obviously, we're 10 weeks into this thing, going in on 11 here. A few weeks back, they go to Carolina and get their ass beat. You remember that? They got their asses beat out of nowhere, and I was like, maybe Then they go to the Jets, I think, or the Giants, and it was like a close one or whatever. They weren't playing as great. They get the win, but that team I think they have a team. If that defense can figure out how to stop people, for whatever reason, the defense was dominant at times. It hasn't been dominant against Russell Wilson. Do you think the Cardinals defense is going to have problems? You said no to the Russell Wilson over or whatever, but that Cardinals defense with Budda Baker, who's potential defensive MVP, unbelievable football player, Patrick Peterson in the secondary as well, and others, have they been as dominant as they should be? And should we expect to see them be a dominant defense at any point for the Arizona Cardinals?
I mean, I think they should be a little more consistent. They got some good players back there. Some good players, like you just talked about, Baker and Peterson, my bad. They got some good players. I'm excited about them working in Isaiah Simmons, though, more. They're supposed to be working him in more this week. He had the game-winning pick the last time these two teams met up. They haven't been, like I said, just haven't been consistent, but they got the players. And this is that point in the season, where the contenders and the pretenders kind of separate themselves. They know how important this game is. I think they come in and have a good game. But, I mean, it's Russell Wilson. I think he's still going to put up his numbers. Still got weapons on the outside, get some of his running backs back as well. Tyler Lockett's a little banged up, but he's going to be the starter he always is. So I won't say that they'll hold him to some type of, numbers, but his over-under is just too high. That's why I stayed away from it. But, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and throws for 330. In a close game and a loss. But, the Cardinals, they got the weapons, but they just got to be more consistent. And I'm excited about Simmons, man. I want to see him get in the fold more, man.
Contenders and pretenders. What a line there, dude. That was pretty good. Bars, dude. Good for
November.
You. Oh. November's when you find the contenders and pretenders. Tonight we find out who's the NFC West legit squad. So you're saying, now, granted, DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a good night. All right? Everybody knows.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins. Larry Fitzgerald, Thursday Night Football. Feels like this is a game where Larry's going to clean up somehow. It feels like Thursday Night Football, Larry Fitzgerald. Now, granted, last week he made a couple catches. I think he had one or two. But Thursday Night Football always feels like a time where Larry, and that might be a completely false stat, but I just have a feeling Larry Fitzgerald's going to potentially pop off tonight.
I don't know, but it's just so many other weapons. They get off Kirk, Hopkins, obviously. So Fitzgerald, he kind of gets in where he fits in. And obviously he brings value to that team. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet. I wouldn't be surprised anytime Fitz has a big night. I just, I wouldn't bet on it necessarily just because all the other weapons.
Probably 20.
I like how Kyler's getting involved on the ground too, man. He's running more this year. He's a little faster than even I thought he was last year. He just looks more dynamic. Especially when you get around that red zone, you get in the end zone, man. It's an exciting team to watch. Still young, head coach young, quarterback is young, but you got the savvy vets on the other side with Seattle. But I'm excited about this Cardinals team, man.
Me too. And by the way, Kyler always has the same exact look on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just the same. It was like 36.
Shut up, Siri.
Hey, always listening.
Always listening.
Be careful,
you
dude.
should not. You should not have said that to Siri. You do not want Siri on your bad side there. You better hope that she just rushes that off.
She's going to turn off your alarm clock.
Yeah,
bold.
You're going to sleep in all of a sudden.
Hey, man. Real quick, man. How's that jaw, man? I didn't notice.
Right.
You done got ran down on a couple times.
Don't change the
Switch
conversation.
the crew. When you had me, AJ, and Nick there, shit wasn't going down like that. That's real different. Now your jaw's swollen and shit.
Yeah,
Come
it's a
on,
little
man.
bit. Okay, I got a little bit here on the left side. All right, a boot hit it pretty square. Got thrown into a wall as well, which I did not know was that
budge.
sturdy.
Yeah.
I couldn't have fathomed it being that sturdy. But you're right. You guys were mocked a couple times for letting them get as close as they got or whatever, but I never got kicked in the mouth. That's something. Hey, listen, we got bamboozled last night. We did not even know those people were there, okay? They come sprinting in. A whole fight happens. I think the boys tried, but ultimately, yeah. And as I watched it back and I asked the boys afterwards how they did in their fight, they said they all got a couple good shots in.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did not. I did not.
It's all on film. That the eye in the sky don't lie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I watched back, and I believe I was the only outright loser of the whole thing. But I was surprised. What do you want from me? I wasn't ready for the whole thing. Diggs, what do you got?
D-But, last time they played, Tyler Lockett had 20 targets and 15 receptions for 200 yards. DK Metcalf only had 2 catches. Do you think that was a concerted effort, like on the Cardinals' part, being like, we're not going to get beat by DK Metcalf. If we get beat, let it be by Lockett. Do you think they'll do something similar, even though Lockett went off for 200 yards last time?
You know what? Lockett's been he's been a little slowed down with that knee, but I mean, I think he's got to be on that board. I mean, you want to take away DK first and foremost. They'll probably maybe even have Peterson shadow him since Ramsey did a pretty good job on him last week. But we'll see, man. You got to take away DK first, I still think. And, Tyler Lockett, I mean, he's like a 1B. He's not necessarily a 2. He's kind of been a quiet superstar in that organization for a while now. So they're definitely going to make a concerted effort to keep an eye on the guy that went for 200 last time. But I think DK is still the number one guy on that scouting report.
When you're a DB and you're going against a quarterback that has 10 turnovers in the last 3 games, does that make you feel pretty good though? Like, hey, this guy might give us one now. He mentally might be broken right now. We don't know what's going on. He might give us one. He's been making uncharacteristic turnovers that are just very dumb too. Like you watch him back. There was one obviously we all saw. He could run for 8 yards and a first down for sure. Throws across his body just like a fade to the cornerback basically. He's made a. Is there something to that, or do you have to prepare as if this is Russell Wilson? He's been broken for 3 weeks. He's going to come back.
Yeah, it's Russ. So you expect to get his best shot. It's prime time. Back's kind of against the wall. The first half of the season, everybody was riding him. MVP race, this, that, and the third. Now he's kind of tailed off a little bit. So he's gonna come in with a championship mindset. So you kind of got to throw all that out of your mind and just come in and try to have your best game of the year against this guy, because he's gonna definitely give you his best effort. And I mean, those are some of the plays you get with Russ, man. Some of the things that makes all players great can be the same thing that bite him in the ass with time or two. So that blind play where Darius Williams got that pick, it was a great play by the defender. Terrible play by Russ in hindsight, but if he makes that throw, he's like, oh my God, that's what makes him great. So you kind of give and take, but he makes a lot more of those plays that he gives up, and he's been playing bad. But I think he plays better tonight. But I just think Kyler and the boys out edge him.
That's very true, because that Russell Wilson roll where he throws it to the back corner to Tyler Lockett, that ball is like the most insane catch. Well, up there, not most insane catch in football history, because Edelman's catch is insane. Julio's there's Plexico. I mean, there's a lot here that we could potentially. Odell's insane. There's a lot that we could go through, but it's up in there in the conversation of one of the most ridiculous plays in NFL history, that back corner grab. And as soon as I say it, everybody knows what I'm talking about, and that's why it is characterized as one of the best plays of all time. But that play could have easily. He could have easily got picked there at some point. And it's like, yeah, you're right. So I guess that is like the gift and curse of the whole thing. It's like what makes them love you will also make them hate you at some point. And that happens to everybody. Were you playing whenever old buddy down at the Texans threw 4 straight pick sixes? Were you playing against that guy? Matt Schaub. It was last time we talked, I said it was 20 or 14.
Yeah, you said it was 14.
Yeah, 14. It was 4. Okay, we got 10 off.
Yeah, you were off 10.
Yeah, I was off 10. A little bit of an emphasis.
Give or take.
Yeah. 14 straight games, by the way. The pick 6 would have been a terrible year to be a fan of that team. That would have been a brutal. 4 straight, still tough. But is there any quarterbacks that you played against? You don't have to name them, but you're like, this guy's going to give us at least one, and you just got to catch the ones that they throw you here.
Anybody that played for Jacksonville. Jacksonville was my team. Going into that game, I felt like, if I needed to score, more than their offense scored. So, anytime I went to Jacksonville, those guys looked out. Schaub, though, Matt Schaub in Houston, my rookie year, was actually my first pick 6 of my career.
Yeah, you were probably a part of it.
Yeah, so Schaub, I definitely got in on that action too.
You were part of by the way, you're probably part of that 4, the 4 straight, if I had to guess.
Probably.
You didn't even know when I gave you that stat. That's
I didn't.
That's why you are who you are. You guys got anything for D?
Yeah. D-Bud, you mentioned Tyler Lockett's knee swelling up this week. If you're in the secondary of the Cardinals, are you giving him like a knee-to-knee or a dead leg to kind of really test him, or no?
Christ.
I mean, I've talked about it on this show, man. We're definitely aware of everyone's injuries. But I mean, you just go out there and play. It's not like a quarterback. A quarterback, I'll be a little more mindful, but little Tyler Lockett, I mean, he's just trying to get that little dude down on the ground. He's tough enough to tackle. So, I mean, however you get him down, you get him down. But we're definitely aware of everybody's injuries out there.
For what, Darius?
Huh? I mean, we just want to know. We just need all the info. All in, left knee, right knee. We need to know which one.
A couple punches on the ground.
These defenders.
Just to make sure he's all right.
Hey, I'm talking to Robert Mathis in about 9 minutes. Can't wait to chat with him about all this stuff.
That'll be a good one.
Hey,
my guy, Junkyard Dog.
Hey, that's what. Hey, happy Founders Day yesterday. I was going to tell him the thought.
Just don't throw those hooks up.
No, I would never. I would never.
You know.
I have seen a Caucasian do it before though, and it was awesome to watch the fallout immediately afterwards. that was one of those. Okay, don't do what that guy ever did for the rest of your life. Not that he ever would have, but He's first ballot Hall of Famer, I think, right? He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
First ballot, he should be, man. He set the tone. I mean, the strip sacks we see now that everybody, when you get near the quarterback, that's what everybody does now. Robert Mathis, he was the greatest of all time when it came to that. Bailed us out of a few games doing that, man. So, yeah, he should definitely be first ballot. Shouldn't even be a debate.
I mean, he would come around and he would literally be trying to saw the quarterback's arm off at the elbow.
That's Sam, man. Hey, I got a question for Connor real quick, man. How you feel about those Patriots, man? Are they you feel a little better about them yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel fantastic. We reset the season 2 weeks ago, and we're 2-0 in the new season. Texans on Sunday will move to 3-0, and then we'll make the playoffs at 11-5.
Speaking of that, hold on though, D-Butt.
I tried to tell you guys, y'all were counting them out. Y'all calling them dead.
Yep, can't do it.
There's some more information that has come out though that makes me think that they will literally never be dead. Were you ever in a meeting where Bill Belichick basically just wrote the script for the game that was about to happen and then it happened? Because Cam Newton talked about that the other day.
I mean, literally 90% of the games we went into. And it's weird. And you've been a part of the game week. After our Saturday walkthrough, that's pretty much it. Usually with teams, as far as the last time they meet and get together, you go through that mock game, and that's pretty much it. But with Belichick, well, no, you have your night meeting Saturday night too. But with Belichick, Sunday coming into the game, like we got a 1 o'clock game. I believe it was 11 o'clock. We have one final team meeting. And in that team meeting, 90% of the time, he would lay out that, like, all right, this thing, I know we didn't prepare for it, but they might come out with a little no huddle in the first half. So let's make sure we're on point with that. And then it'll probably start raining in the third quarter. So if we get this, we'll take the win and we'll do this. It was wild, man. It was really some wild shit. So for him to be in that first year in it, I can definitely understand him kind of being like amazed by it. It was crazy.
This dude is telling us when it's going to rain.
Yeah, well, Ernie Adams.
It was nuts, man.
What'd you have, Gumpy?
Yeah, D-But, both of us being lifelong Dolphins fans, I really loved O.J. McDuffie growing up. I'm just wondering who was your favorite Dolphin of all time?
Oh, Jason Taylor.
Oh, all time. Damn, Ricky Williams was a favorite. Gene Atkins. Gene Atkins was married. He was married into the family, so I would have to say Gene Atkins.
Okay.
Nice.
Calvin Jackson was my high school coach too. He was a safety. I got a lot of favorite Dolphins, man. Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison, those guys out. I did like O.J. McDuffie, but I can go all day, man. I love.
Yeah, I bet you love Mercury Morris too.
Yeah. Hey, how about Ray Finkel? Guy got a bad rap there. You know what I mean? Guy got a bad.
And it wasn't even his fault.
No.
I think you told me that. You were Matt Overton told me the laces are on the long snapper. Man.
Yeah, it wasn't Marino's fault. Like Marino should not have been getting death threats for that entire thing from Ray Finkel. But I do believe that was a time where the long snapper was also potentially the defensive tackle and like the corner. So like maybe it wasn't laces at that point, and maybe old Dan did kind of mess that up. Ray Finkel got a bad. And Snowflake also does not get talked about enough. The Dolphin, the field goal kicking Dolphin. I think 100% accuracy. I've never seen Snowflake miss, I don't think. And that's something that doesn't get talked about. Yeah, that's Hall of Famer as well. Just like you are, Darius Butler, whenever it comes to being absolutely incredible on this show. Sir, you make us smarter. You're entertaining. Host of the Man to Man podcast, 9-year NFL vet, ladies and gentlemen. Lifelong Dolphins fan.
Lifelong. Way back to Joe Robbie Stadium, baby.
Oh, Joe. Darius Butler with a wink. Darius Butler. That was a good conversation. We got to get to a break. So he likes the Arizona Cardinals tonight.
Interesting.
Man, they have lost me so much money. So much money. And I am such a supporter of their team. I almost want to not bet on the night. And Zito, what's going on with your poll? Because I think one of the choices for the poll is probably going to slowly emerge as what we should bet on here. For a second, Zito, what is the poll for the day?
Today is which bets are we hammering tonight? Right now, the under is last, 9.1%. Seahawks minus 2.5, 20.9. And then we have Cardinals plus 2.5, 33.7. And the over, 57.5. 36.2.
This feels like this is an under bet game.
Under in Seattle if you're looking at that poll.
Since 2003, divisional games with a total of 50 or more points are 40, 27, and 3 to the under.
Oh,
I gotta go to the
shelter.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Little gun. We're going to get to a break. Tony Unders just has a doo-doo. He's had a moment with himself.
It's everywhere.
All right, we're back on the other side with Robert Mathis and some of your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
See that belt buckle? All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Okay. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to. What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC-regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Run it back. Run it back. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Bring a little chill in the studio right now. It's the temperature. It's getting hot back outside again. It's supposed to be 60 today.
Whoa. Really?
Whoa.
Beautiful day.
What's it like in Seattle tonight for this game?
4 degrees.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. It was 40 and a little bit of rain, potentially 40%, I think.
Oh, no.
I can check it again.
Oh, boy.
You know?
Pacific Northwest.
Hey, when it gets going, they say, not going to stop it. Up there. A little breeze comes off the Pacific there, which does have salt in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, low 44, wind south. winds coming out of the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 40%.
They're going starboard though, or are they going port?
Port.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
when it rains. It
No
pours.
fans up there, by the way.
No.
Is it really a home field advantage?
The 12th man is gone.
You're right. They used to play 12 on 11.
Mm-hmm.
And that 12 would quickly become, 18 probably, because all 6 refs on the field would be scared to potentially turn against the 12th player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Seattle got calls over anybody else. I just said it strictly because if I was a ref and I had that group of humans howling at me, it'd probably be tough for me to go out there and say, like, a cheap roughing the passer.
Yeah, sure.
You
Or
know what I
like
mean?
fit
Against the Seattle Seahawks. That's one of those calls that if it's like just a little graze of a helmet, I would assume there's not a lot of refs that want to stare the 12th man down in Seattle and go, that little ticky-tack touch on the opposing team's quarterback is roughing the passer 15 yards. They're going to get a first down and probably score in this possession. That is probably something that happens just naturally if we're talking about humans being refs. You know what I mean?
A few less holding calls on the Seahawks.
I
than
would
there are up in
assume. The
Seattle.
closer, I would assume. And now, granted, these are not stats. These are not Gumpy Nukes. This is just me thinking of a ref being a human and having to stare down that of those people. They're just losing their minds up there with a stadium that's built, by the way, like architecturally to echo sound around it.
Mexico
so
City.
Place is loud.
I mean,
place
the Fail
is
Mary
bonkers.
happened up there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Refs-
I mean, Russell Wilson throws an interception. Packers win the game. The crowd goes apeshit, and some ref just runs over, shits his pants, and calls touchdown. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a
Game
high school
over.
ref. Those replacement refs.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You've been to a game up there, Gump?
Yeah, I went when it was Kaepernick and Niners were really good. Niners, Seahawks, and it was fucking mayhem.
I've never played there. That's one of my things that I do regret for retiring after 8 years is that I didn't get a chance to play up there. Joining us now is a man who I would assume has played everywhere in the NFL, going to be in the Hall of Fame, absolute legend of a human, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Mathis. Yeah! Woo! Hey, man, first, before we get started, happy belated Founders Day to you and your fellow Q dogs, my friend.
Hey, what's going on, man? Good to have you here.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for being here. Robert, we were just talking about Seattle, and did you ever get a chance to play up there? Was that the loudest place you've ever played? Now, granted, when you're on the field, it's normally very quiet in opposing places, but just from sitting on the bench and hearing a place, I always thought Houston was very, very loud. I always thought Houston was loud.
Yeah, that it was a night game in Houston, and was the one JJ got his little scoop and score, and the roof seemed like it just popped off, man. But Seattle was very loud. Kansas City was extremely loud. But I still put the RCA Dome up against any stadium when it comes to how loud it could be.
I forgot about the RCA Dome. The RCA Dome was the Colts Stadium before Lucas Oil Stadium, right? So that was a place where people were like, well, they're piping in noise or whatever. But if you talk to anybody in Indianapolis, it's like, no, that place was like built to be loud. It was kind of, I think it had like below average seats, right? So people didn't want to sit down much. They were standing. And then Lucas Oil came, and I never got to play in the RCA Dome. But when Lucas Oil came in, these people were in like recliners in a movie theater. It's not as loud or whatever. They're like, the RCA Dome played no games back in the day, though, I guess.
Oh yeah, it was very comfortable, and Lucas, it was very comfortable in Lucas Oil as compared to the Dome. It was just loud as hell, man. It was like 50, 60,000 seats, which was significantly smaller than most stadiums.
And it was like a hockey arena venue, huh? Felt like it was like a hockey arena almost.
It was something. That's when we was converting everybody to football fans from basketball.
Oh, yeah. That's whenever the team that you guys were on, because Indianapolis, and everybody tells a story about when Peyton got here, when he got to the Colts, he told he did an NFL Films interview where he said the Indianapolis, with his, I can't do it. I tried to get a little nasally. I couldn't get there. But he said in his accent basically that the Indianapolis Colts were a team that everybody circled. And they were like pumped to play against. And then he said, like, even in the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis, it's like racing first, the Indianapolis 500, then basketball, and then football was like the third thing. And then you guys were a part of basically the changing of a culture in an entire state. Now, diehard football place. That had to be kind of a cool experience, though, to see an entire city kind of revolve and come around behind you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just to be part of that whole movement. Just to see the transition from in the city that people are now wanting to come, and the coach tickets are kind of a hot commodity, and just see things coming back to full circle now. It's even better now, being basically on the retired side looking in.
You're a Ring of Honor member, right? Yeah. No. Have you got on there yet? You have.
No, ironically, it was going to be this particular game, but they postponed it because of there's not a lot of fans there, and they wanted more fans there for me.
Yeah. There should be that's an awesome celebration. We were there for Freeney last year. You were coaching, and you got a chance to be a part of the celebration. Obviously, you're coaching during the game. You and Freeney are maybe the most disrespected defensive end duo in the history of the NFL. Why is that?
Man, we just got a lot of haters, man. I don't get it, but I will say being in a small market, that has something to do with it. But I always say, man, put the numbers up. So anybody that came off the heat, brought the heat more than we did as a duo for the better part of 10 years, let me see.
The team was constructed that way, though. Now, granted, I think you were a big hit for Bill Polian. 5th round, 6th round?
Oh, 5th round.
5th round draft pick, played special teams, by the way, covered kickoffs. Well, yeah, imagine that.
Gee.
I mean, yeah. I wish.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, that's what, I know. Like, you didn't like doing it, obviously, but man, it would have been awesome to kick off and see 98 running down. It would have been insane. But you obviously hit for them. You were an undersized outside rusher. Dwight Freeney was a first-round draft pick for them, undersized rusher, and you two hit. And the way they that sounded like a wolf back there, by the way. I hope it's okay. Everything's back there. But the way the team was built, okay, we're going to pay Peyton, we're going to pay some weapons, we're going to get a lead on teams, and then we're going to have 2 defensive ends that whenever they try to drop back to pass, we're going to kill them every time. And it led to the winningest decade in NFL history. So, I mean, that has to be you and Freeney have to feel pretty damn good that you were pillars of the team that was, one of the most successful teams in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, like I said, it was a great feeling, very humbled by it. And, we was basically called in to be game closers. Peyton, he's going to jump up 14, 21 more points early in the game, and we just had to protect the lead.
It feels like nowadays a 14-point lead is nothing. Back in the day, 14 points used to be an okay lead. Like, okay, we're up 14. Granted, we need to get more. If we get to 17, this thing's about over. But now with the way offenses are, it feels like 14, 17 is absolutely nothing. From a defensive end standpoint, and a defensive guy, and you hate quarterbacks guy, how do you feel about where the NFL is at right now with how efficient offenses are, how hard it is to get off the field as a defense now? And do you think it'll ever come back around to being a defensive dominant game?
I would say, I wouldn't say offensive. They're just juggernauts like that. They just protect the quarterback too damn much. You can't hit him too low. You can't hit him too high. He gets 2 referees watching him every play. They can make us. They can simulate snap counts to make us jump off sides, but we can't do it. We can't simulate a snap count to make them jump. We get unsportsmanlike. Receivers get 5-yard grace. It's just a whole lot of people want to see points being scored. But hey, when you got defenses that are balling, Indianapolis Colts, you give them credit, man, because it's very tough in today's game. Even with this whole targeting, you got to let guys catch the ball. It's just a whole lot of offensive favoritism, but there are a lot of defenses. Like you got Baltimore, Pittsburgh. They've been consistently good over the years, and nothing's changed this year.
The Colts defense is unbelievable. You work with a lot of them. What is it this year? Is it another year of maturity, another year of experience, you think, in the system with Eberflus? Like, what do you think it is about that defense that's making them ball out? And obviously Darius Leonard is having a hell of a year as well, and DeForest Buckner has been a great trade.
There you go. He's a difference maker along with Grover Stewart. Our 2 inside guys on that defensive starting 11, they're the engine. And Grover, he's playing out of his mind right now. Then you got DeForest Buckner. That's $100 million well spent. And then you have our edge guys. And then you got Danico Autry. Now, nobody's talking about him. Leads the team in sacks. Justin Houston, he a future Hall of Famer in my book. I think he's going to be up there. And also you got Kamoko Toure on his way back. And you just have across the board from DBs to the D-line linebackers, everybody's a dog on that defense. and that's especially in a 4-3 scheme. That's what you need.
Hey, man. You know, I used to pick spin move, and they're like, hey, that guy's a dog. You know what I mean? That's what they would say about me, Robert. You know that.
Yeah. You tried it last time I was on the show, man. It was pretty stink.
No. Whoa. No. That's not.
Okay, first off, who's giving me all these woes and what y'all want to do?
Oh, what you guys want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, Robert, how's life, man? Are you coaching still? Gridiron Gang's going?
Yeah, we got guys. Football season, high school, college is coming to an end, so guys, training's going to pick back up. So right now, I train when it's time to train. I chill when it's time to chill.
A guy who did do the woeing, who asked to ask you a question, his name's Connor.
No, that's false. Mr. Mathis, when
what was the Patriot guy?
Yeah, that's him.
These are mine.
It's him back there, huh?
Yeah,
it's him back there.
No.
Over here.
It's the guy with the glasses, Robert. It's the guy with the glasses.
Mm-hmm. Tell him I said he's soft.
I'll let him know.
Soft.
I'll tell him later. Mr. Mathis, Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson are going at it tonight. As a pass rusher, how much does your game change when you're going up against a guy that you know can make plays with his feet?
We hate those kind of guys because they can run away from you, and so you have to tailor it just a little bit. And I would always say you got to run a lot of trap games early in the game.
What's that?
Okay, we used to run something. We called it rock bait. So that means Dwight Freeney runs. We call it around the horn. Don't touch anybody. Just haul ass up the field, and I'm gonna make sure the quarterback sees me take an inside move, so he sees that open lane. He takes it. Dwight comes around and tomahawk sack. Detach him from the football, and then we scoop and score. Give it back to Peyton. So
that's a chess game there. So you are okay. So when this quarterback gets to the point of potentially me and his vision, I'm gonna crash underneath. So he thinks that the inside of the pocket is gonna be loaded. He's gonna turn right into Dwight Freeney.
Right. He don't even see him coming.
That's crazy.
Oh my God! So there's all that shit going on every single. Is that happening every play? There's stuff like that happening, and how come it never gets talked about? Because I feel like that's rather important in this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I teach my guys is that it's chess, not checkers. Every pass rush move needs to set up the next one, and also every game that we run needs to instill some kind of doubt. So the next time we run that stunt that kind of looks like that, Dwight is not necessarily running all the way around. So when I do take an inside move, that quarterback may think it's a trap game, and he stays in that pocket. Now I can. The other three guys can get there. So it's all about keeping his attention off of his receivers and on the rush.
And
so if he's looking at us, he's not looking at his receivers.
And there's no chance that the quarterback that just stands there is going to survive the next. I mean, that generation of quarterbacks that used to just be able to be protected and kind of hang out in there and not extend plays. I assume that that's changing because of how good you guys got at kind of changing games too.
I mean, everybody evolves, so you have a lot of D linemen. They run sub 4.5 40s. You got a lot of quarterbacks because of the RPO. They have to be dual threats, and you got these quarterbacks. They can like Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray. These guys. So A-Rod, he was kind of ushered in that type of quarterback. And they just kill you either way. So you got to have some guys just that can go hunt them, go chase them down. You just can't have big slow ass, tall.
That Peyton Manning sack that I don't know if it was a touchdown or a safety. I think Walden got it for a touchdown there. That was the most fulfilling one of your career, you think?
No. It was up there, I say, but it always Tom Brady.
That's why you suck, dude.
No, not me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're talking about you, dude.
No.
Yeah,
we're talking about Tom.
No,
he's on the Buccaneers. He's a Buccaneers guy.
Colts are playing A-Rod this weekend, by the way. That's a big game for both teams. I'm excited to see what the defense does against him. What do you think the messaging is to the defense this week against him?
Shit, A and Rod.
yeah, it has to be, right?
Yeah, so you gotta make them beat you in by running the ball. You can't let him do what he wants to do because He still throws darts and he'll still kill you. He'll kill you.
Hey, I want to let you know, 3 of my cars with some, upgrades I've put into them, over 620 horsepower.
Whoa.
3 of them.
Shelby, you got the Shelby?
Yeah, that one's at like 660 right now. I just did an entire engine redo to my Bentley. It has 625 horses in my Bentley. Yeah. I don't know.
You doing Bentleys now?
Well, I want to let you know, the Bentley was too nice, and I hated driving it. It was too nice. Like, I hated driving it. So I said, can we make this thing a little bit more white trash? And we put like a massive engine in it. That thing is like humming now at this point. I get it tomorrow. I cannot wait to see how that thing goes.
Well, first off, Bentleys already come with a W12 engine. So what the hell you putting more? That's 600 plus off the top.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like 680 or something. Woo.
Why?
Zoom.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I don't know. It just felt like it was the right move.
Hey, if you can do it, go ahead. So,
I bought it because I wanted to flex to myself that I could buy something nice with the money I made off the field, and then it just became. What's that?
Bro,
what's that?
That's not even your swag. You are a Shelby Mustang.
I know. Believe me, it became a driveway ornament. I did not drive it one time. It still is not registered. It is still not registered. I've owned it for 3 years because I drove it the one time and I hated it. I was like, well, this is just going to park here so I was like, maybe we do something to make me like it more. And this was the decision.
Well, I tell you what, just go ahead and give it to me. I think you have my address because you did. You blessed me with a couple of shirts and some water, so yeah, you got my address. So yeah, let me get that.
Okay, yeah, the Bentley maybe it might take a little bit. It's kind of getting lost in shipping or whatever. We'll talk about it next time, ladies and gentlemen. Future Hall of Famer Robert Mathis. Yeah! Thank you, Robert. That's hilarious.
That guy hates quarterbacks.
I think he owns your car now.
I think
he does. Yeah, he does. He owns your car now.
Congrats to me for driving Robert's car now. He when I showed up with the Shelby, he was pretty pumped about it. He did like, whose Shelby's that out there or whatever, and I was like, oh, it's mine. He was like, how many horsepower that guy? 620. He's like, damn. And then he just walked away. He had this awesome Harley Davidson Ford truck. When they did that,
oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an awesome. Yeah, he's Robert was always super nice to me, man. Always super nice to me. I never fully understood it. I don't think, like even from like, not day one. I don't think he talked to me day one, but very early, before anybody else really talked. Joseph Adai was very nice to me, and I think he introduced me to a lot of people. And I was always just like, man, Robert, I'm sure you're told this a lot, but I would assume that you scare the shit out of most Caucasians in a lot of places, He's one of the most intimidating humans of all time. But then you start talking to him, he was like so nice, joking, fucking around, so intelligent, like deep thinking. It was really cool, and I'm very thankful for his friendship through the years. But
didn't you say he was one of the first guys who wanted to like invest what you were doing off the field, like early in your career?
Yeah, he was like, can I buy a percentage of your off the field business stuff? And this was whenever I was still in the league or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I'm a corporate, I don't even know if I could do that. He was like, well, if there ever a time, I want in. And I was like, you got it, man. So then the next year came around, he showed up in my first ever stand up. So he was like him, Vinatieri, they're like front row or whatever. He was like, when you do stand up, I'm going to be there. I was like, you got it. So I did stand-up, and it was the only reason why I did stand-up because I was doing Bob and Tom. And I had done like a stand-up comedy thing with a guy named Scott Long for charity. And he's a very nice guy, and the event was for charity. I'd been tweeting a little bit, and he kind of forced me into it, to be honest with you. He went on the news, and he basically said, we're not doing it unless Pat McAfee does it. So then I got kind of tweeted about it. But it was nice for him to do. I did a little thing, and it was cool. I had a lot of fun with him. He was very nice, and I learned a lot, and I started watching all the stand-up comedians. And then a couple years later, I get to do Bob and Tom, and Bob and Tom is a show that's here in Indianapolis, but it's syndicated across the country, 175, I think, radio stations there for a while. So big, booming. It's a comedy morning show. And all the comedians would come through there. One morning I was on there, and a comedian who's been paid very, very well to do comedy comes into the studio. And when the comedian comes into the studio, I'm having a conversation with him. And while I'm talking to him off air, I realize, oh, this person isn't funny at all. So the questions that he was being asked, he wrote down for Tom to ask him, and then he had punchlines written below.
Oh, boy.
So I was just watching this person, and I was near them for like 3 hours that morning. They were like guest hosting or whatever, and they were very nice. I would say like very nice human. But I was watching this take place. I'm like, this is a fraud. Right? Hey, this is bullshit.
Kidding me?
You're reading a script right now. Like this isn't. And so immediately after he leaves, right, he gets out of there. One of my good friends, Bob Cavoyan, who's one of the show's hosts, Bob from Bob and Tom, he's now my next door neighbor. He was the guy that did my wedding, by the way, a guy that I really have a lot of respect for, and I appreciate him. I go, hey, that motherfucker's lying to people. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, that guy's not a comedian. He's one of the most boring humans of all time. He's reading a goddamn script out there. He's like, well, who do you think wrote the script? I was like, well, now that I think about it, probably not him, right? He's like, well, some people do it differently, right? Some people are naturally funny people. Some people can deliver things well. Some people have to write it out and the whole thing, but their brain's still creative. And some people do have people write for them, and it's all one big fraud. And I was like, that's bullshit. That is absolutely. He's like, well, if you're so funny, why don't you do it? I was like, do what? He was like, stand-up comedy. I was like, I will. I will. So I rented out a theater, okay? Sold out in 10 seconds on my Twitter account, crashed the ticketing site, had to get another night. And then I was like, well, goddamn, now I have to do it. So I paid for a local production company, like $30,000. We shot both nights, made it a special. I had a great time doing it, an absolute great time doing it. And I had no idea where I was headed with this.
And Robert was there.
Oh, yeah. He was there, front row. Literally front row.
That is awesome.
Forced me to give him tickets. He was like, if you ever do it, I want you to do it. Here we go. And he's on the show. He's on the actual DVD that we don't know where the Masters is. Like, I have no idea. It was on YouTube there for a while on somebody else's account, had raked up a lot of views, and I didn't even tell him to take it down. I think somebody told them to take it down. So now I don't even know where it is. That was how I would have to reference it, is from that another person's YouTube account that ripped it off of whatever. I think we have a DVD of it maybe in my house somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure. That thing could potentially be gone forever.
Gotta find it.
I have no idea where it's at.
If there's a chance it's at your house, turn that thing upside down.
I went for 97 minutes straight.
That's absurd.
Both nights?
Absurd, yeah. Well, the second night was similar to the first night, but the crowd could have known what was coming because the Indy Star actually wrote the entire set in the newspaper Sunday morning.
Had the transcript.
It was basically transcripted in the Indy Star.
That's nice.
So we can just go to the archives and look at that.
You could potentially just read it, I guess.
Yeah.
Delivery means nothing, right? I mean, in comedy, so you could just read it or whatever. With a picture of me on a stage, you basically get the optics of it.
I get it.
And it's like a book, you know what I mean? Yeah, that happened.
Thought that was illegal.
Well, yeah, it turns out it was. People tell me I should have sued them.
Yeah.
And did the whole thing. But good people at Indy Star. I actually did a show with them for a little bit, so I didn't do it. But you're right. It was a little bit interesting going on stage and knowing damn well that everybody in there knew exactly what was coming. So, second time ever really doing it in front of, a couple thousand people. We had a good time, though, man. I had a fucking blast. What's up, Nick?
So you have the bar and bad decisions. You have a bunch of regrets. The Moroccan oil nuts, the Bitcoin.
Whoa, dude.
I think you should add Robert Mathis to that list, not letting him invest, because I'm just thinking about you coming in like once a month to a meeting, sitting down at the board of investors, and you having to explain to Robert what you're going to do and what you're planning.
All right, Robert, here's the plan. I'm going to get on a private plane with Wi-Fi. Okay, so that's going to cost a little bit more, I think. I think that's going to cost a little bit more. This is where your money's been going, okay? And we had a little bit sketchy landing last time. This one pretty good. And, then we did a documentary on a car getting upgraded from just a Bentley normal one to a 680 horsepower. Is my money going to all this? Yeah. Okay, this is good. Hey, but here's your return on investment.
That's right.
Here's your return on
That's right.
investment. He's a good guy, though. Robert, really good guy. I saw in the middle of that whole thing, we had some breaking news.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Woj bomb, source Golden State's Klay Thompson has suffered a season-ending Achilles tear. God damn. That happened yesterday in a workout in L.A. gym where he was working with Miles Turner and a couple other guys. They were just getting a workout in, and all of a sudden there was an incident that occurred. I guess he had ice on it, and then this morning he was scheduled for an MRI. He has torn his Achilles. And it was interesting because with Achilles tears, right? Everybody says Sometimes the people that have it happen to them, they think they hear a sound, and you can no longer operate your foot. And everybody remembers Kobe tearing his Achilles and then basically dragging his leg on there, shooting the free throw, and then going off or whatever, which is absolutely insane. That's one of those ones that can happen with no contact. That's one of those ones that can happen walking around. That is incredibly sad for Klay Thompson. I think everybody was excited to see him back and the Golden State Warriors back That's a bummer, man. In a workout, too. Just trying to get better.
Yep.
Trying to get better, and that happens.
Yeah, because they were second in the West in odds to win the championship with everyone back again this year. And this is coming off a torn ACL, too. So I can't even imagine rehabbing that and then rehabbing Achilles and still wanting to.
And they got Wiseman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Big center. Guy's a hell of a basketball player. Said he watches film on Anthony Davis or something like that. That's what his play like. All right, let's go. Everybody does.
Going to be a stud.
Hey, going to be good at basketball. They're going to miss Klay Thompson, though. That is a bummer. Let's go to Joseph in California. Joseph, what's going on?
Joe.
Somebody look for Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Oh, this is Tristan in Pittsburgh.
This is Tristan in Pittsburgh. But hey, what's up, Pat? How's it going?
Did I just switch out of
What
nowhere?
the fuck just happened, Mitt?
Mitt.
Did he hang up on Joe from California to put Tristan in there, or did Joe from California hang up literally as I was putting him up?
He said, "Oh, I don't know. That was fucking weird."
Just like that one.
Tristan in Pittsburgh, what's going on, bro? Jesus.
Not much, man. How are you and the boys doing?
Better than Mitt, I guess, right now. Mitt did not deserve that. Okay, Mitt's doing his best back there. I think that was just like a weird timing thing. Yeah. Tristan did not know we were going to talk to anybody from Pittsburgh right here, but we're excited to do it. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, I just wanted to know, we've been talking about the Steelers a lot lately, considering they're undefeated. So I wanted to get you and the boys' opinion. Do you think it is harder to do 16-0 with a bye week or 15-1 without a bye week?
All right, let's go to David in New York. David, what's going on?
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
Not too shabby, man. What do you want to talk about here, bub?
Well, just two quick ones. I'm just wondering why the Jets still haven't fired Adam Gase. And also, speaking of Boston Connor, don't smoke cancer sticks, man. Even as a Jets fan, I care a ton about you.
Thank you.
Oh,
that
that's
is
nice.
Shout out to that guy.
Very nice, that guy.
That guy makes terrible decisions, and he's telling you to make a better decision. So that's something to think about. The Tristan thing in Pittsburgh, they had a bye week 4, obviously, and they were forced into the bye week with Tennessee Titans, so it wasn't actually a full bye week. But I don't think anybody's getting a bye week this year. You have to go still get tested. You're not really leaving anywhere. The question should have been, with that early of a bye week, do you think they'll be able to go on the run? And I think that is going to be a problem. And I think Mike Tomlin said, obviously, to the media, we do not care, is what his words were about the bye week being week 4 in a 17-week season. That is very early. It's going to be hard to get going, especially if you have a couple key players get like a week or two little thing kind of pop up. So I think that's a better question. I think 16-0, though, is very, very difficult. I mean, just as humans, just being able to show up every single time you're supposed to and beat the people that have been training and been paid to beat you. I think it's very difficult, and that's why it's only happened one time well, 2 times, I guess, with the Patriots doing it in the history of the game. It's just one of those things where it's going to be very difficult.
They have they play Thanksgiving, so they have Sunday then Thursday. So does that do anything for them as far as maybe a mini bye week kind of situation there? Does that help at all?
I think so. Yeah, I think it helps. A Thursday night game definitely helps. But I think if we talk to anybody else who's had a bye week, like we talked to Aaron, we just talked to Darius Slayton, they're not really allowed to do much, right? No. So you're not going to you don't have that wear and tear of a Sunday game where you're like full body car crash happening, and that's good getting your body break, which is, I think the biggest thing about week 4 is the bodies. It's like week 14, week 15. Probably going to have something naturally happen whenever you're throwing your face and body into people. I mean, I got kicked in the mouth last night twice, and I could barely. I don't know if I'd be able to punt today. If I was, you know what I'm saying?
No way.
You got guys throwing their faces in the thing. Nobody listening to this show sleeping on Arby's anymore.
No.
Sandwiches are made fresh every single order. Nope. We'll hit that on the other side.
Okay.
Trying to stumble out of the blocks.
Yep. False start.
Next hour, we have AJ Hawk joining us. We'll talk about tonight's game, take some more phone calls. We'll cover everything else on this incredible sidebar that we haven't talked about yet. We got Tiger Woods and his kid taking on John Daly and his kid, Lil Jon.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Tell you what, the Daly's going to win this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, I assume the odds are going to be great. The Dailies are going to win this thing. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Lil Jon's a golfer.
Oh, yeah.
Big JD will show up when he has to. Tiger Woods, Charlie, they're good too, but Daly's Super Bowl. You got 6 minutes. We're on the other side. Go take a shit. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them. You heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. By the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Well, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yes, there's $50,000 in there. Yes, there's $50,000 in there.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
Did you rob a bank? Oh, man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude.
We did it?
Couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, dude, it's a fuck ton of money.
You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years, in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth. I don't even know what that means.
Great movie.
The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here? What's
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Thursday, November 19th, 2020. Hour 3 with AJ Hawk begins right a little early. Now! Swine Beat Drop, how's it going? Talked about a lot of things. Got a big Thursday night football game. Joining us now, Super Bowl champion and college football champion, former Green. No, I just hung up.
Are you kidding me?
AJ.
Not ready for the show, dude.
Yeah.
He's not ready for the bright lights. You know, some people,
Well.
you know, you can get them to a spot where it's like, hey, now it's time for you to be a bird, spread your wings and fly.
That's right. You can lead them to the water.
We took the hawk almost from the nest to flight. We took him from land to water, almost getting a chance to slurp that thing. But instead, what happened? Couldn't do it. Fell out of the nest. Hit the ground.
Yes.
Dead.
Devastated.
Join us now, ladies and gentlemen, potentially AJ Hawk. Hey, you're like, Jesus, dude, you came back to life after dying there a couple seconds ago. How are you, bub? Great to see you, man.
Oh, I'm doing well, man. How you doing? I saw you had Robert on, right?
Had Robert Mathis on. I'll tell you what Robert Mathis will do, and that is he will scare the shit out of you. And I believe he made Connor poop his pants over here just a little bit ago. He hates the
Took my glasses
Patriots.
off. I'm still kind of shaking about that.
Yeah, it was a tough situation, but it was good conversation with a guy who's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. Also had Darius Butler on earlier. He picked Kyler to win tonight, and also for Kyler to throw over 285.5 yards. How do you think tonight's going to go? Are you a Cardinals backer? I think people look at me and they're like, that guy likes the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you a guy that's bought in on the Cardinals? I have since very, very early on, but they've let me down a couple times. Are they hitting their stride right now, or is Russell Wilson back?
Well, I'm a Cardinals guy. I'm a fan of Cliff Kingsbury and what Kyler Murray's doing. I think their defense is all right, but I don't think they win tonight. I think Seattle finds a way. And I think Seattle covers too. They're a 3-point favorite.
2.5.
2.5 now. Even better.
Yeah, they definitely win and they cover. I just think it's time. This is going to be a shootout. People claim you would assume it's going to be a shootout. I don't know. We will see, but yeah, I think Seattle finds a way. I think they're at home. I know they don't have the home field advantage. They're renaming the stadium, first game with a new name. I think they're going to do good things.
Oh, no.
New field.
I didn't know it was a new stadium name tonight.
Oh, yeah. Luden Field.
Well, what happened? You know what happened? Russell Wilson has 10 turnovers in 3 games. The previous sponsors like, get us the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? All those other sports shows go, are you buying or selling? That sponsor was like, sell, get us out of here. Somebody's coming in. I wouldn't be surprised from the sounds of it if it's not AJ Hawk Incorporated. You are all the way in on this team. How do you think Russell Wilson's going to bounce back after a rough series of games he's had?
I mean, that's one of the reasons I just think it's got to end sometime, and I think it's going to end tonight. I think you're so big into like the nostalgic things, right? When someone has like a primetime game or a death in the family or their dog is sick or something, you always assume that person's going to have a giant night, right?
Stats, yeah. I like things that happen. I like that. Insert action A, action B happens. Pavlov's dogs. Yes, I do believe in Pavlov's dogs. It's been around for a long, long time. Ring the bell, saliva, get the treat, get the fuck out. I do. I do believe in that.
Okay, so what does Pavlov's dogs have anything to do with the game tonight?
Dude.
Nothing, by the way. That's why I'm kind of torn for it. Yeah. There's nothing tonight. Because nothing says, I mean, I guess there's something that says like Russell Wilson won't lose a certain amount of games in a row or whatever, but also Russell Wilson won't have 10 turnovers in 3 games. So I think there's a lot of those types of things that have kind of been debunked. Now, the Pavlov's dog effect would be like if somebody's, for instance, brother passes away, probably going to have a good game. For instance, Mercedes Lewis says he's playing against Jacksonville Jaguars and he still is not over how that whole thing ended or whatever. And Aaron said to us the other day, he was like, that touchdown was actually supposed to go to Mercedes. I was a little bit bummed about it. And that was only because of what happened with that situation. So not only do I believe in like mentally and personally, you kind of do things, I do believe there's some other factors that go into like, hey, let's have a big night for this guy. You know, I do believe in that because I believe in the human aspect of the whole thing, but it hasn't been completely sound. I've been right more often than not, but it hasn't been 100% sound, which is what I like to do with numbers around here.
Well, I mean, I like that too. I understand, like when Aaron said he was going to, that was supposed to be for Mercedes, and it's a feel-good thing. Like, yeah, you want to reward your teammates, but also like that can also backfire, don't you think? If you're trying to force the ball to something, you're trying to do something out of the ordinary, I guess, just to take care of one person.
You know what was awesome? Andre Johnson, he came and played for us for a couple years after he was done with the Texans. And he's a monster of football, by the way. He was one that got in a fight with Cortland Finnegan. I believe the whole thing happened. He was an awesome teammate. Super cool guy. When he came in, super humble, everything like that. It was really cool. And for whatever reason, it didn't work with us as much. But when we played the Texans, he had I think 27 catches maybe in the first half, 2 touchdowns, and I was immediately after that game I was like, maybe, hey, I'm thinking out loud here, spitballing. Maybe we incorporate that into every single week. Maybe not just the week that we're playing the team that got rid of him or whatever. It's sort of a Williams Worthy thing. Maybe we keep going. And it seemed like we never did it, and that was probably when I really got my eyes open to like, oh, this is a real thing. Like, even the freakish of athletes, there's a little extra motivation whenever you have a chip on your shoulder for whatever reason it is. And that's the Pavlov's dogs, and that's how I bet.
And that's why we're hammering the Chiefs this week.
That's for
whether that happened or not.
Yeah,
the Chiefs think it did.
The victory lap thing with the Chiefs over Raiders, like, go ahead and hammer that. If Andy Reid is making that an actual story, and he somehow has got the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions believing that the Raiders were dancing on their graves, even if it was just a local bus driver that has the hat on for the day, who normally talks too much, nobody wants to talk to you as much as you think they do, or has a good personality. Now listen, that's not on them. They just want to have an interaction. Always very nice to the bus drivers, but there's some that get a bit ridiculous. It's like, all right, okay, Vinny doesn't want to have a full conversation about his 1998 run with the New England Patriots. Okay, but we just won a game. Go ahead and get us to the airport or whatever. But Vinny's a super nice guy. Okay, I just had some edibles anyway, so I'm probably not going to really mind this is happening at all. But I was talking to Vinny there for a second about the game, maybe a little celebration before you interrupted. I know we're about to get to the airport, so maybe pipe down just a little bit here, pal. There is that potentially happens, and maybe the bus driver did, call his own audible and do the victory lap without Gruden or any Raiders knowing. But if Andy Reid has the Chiefs believing that the Raiders were just pissing all over Arrowhead State, I'm hammering them. And also, the entire Raiders team is currently battling the COVID situation. There's a couple things there. You go ahead and just get that hammer out. You go, Chiefs going to cover whatever the fuck it is. Hey, so that's another one of those theories.
Well, it makes sense because I think that the biggest tell is that Andy Reid has made a comment like that. Andy Reid ever make comments like that? Does he ever feel like take things personal or whatever? And I feel like this is a time where Andy's going to really open it up and they're going to really, really try to light up. And also, don't you think the teammates, like his players, Pat Mahomes, Kelsey, like their core guys, they're going to want to do it for him too?
Hey, our guy, okay? Mr. Kool-Aid Man, Mr. Cheeseburger for a victory thing, Mr. Hawaiian Shirt, Mr. Super Genius, who's put us in great situations here. Hey, he seems to be legitimately pissed off. Let's go ahead and go. Let's give one for the guy here. Last year we got the monkey off his back that he can't win the big one. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Just can't win the Super Bowl, can't do it. Is he a Hall of Famer if he doesn't win it? Like all those questions. Batman was like, let's go get this for this guy. And then now it's like, Andy Reid is not happy with how Gruden handled his team afterwards. So let's go ahead and get these boys. I think, now granted, with how much we've talked about it, maybe we kind of, maybe we already did the payback enough that maybe we kind of offset it and maybe we should fade the thought. But I'm going all the way in. That's maybe my favorite bet of the weekend. Chiefs to cover whatever it is, whenever it is.
He's 8 now.
They're going to go, especially with all the COVID situations.
Do you think it's possible that if they're up by like 3 touchdowns, they leave Mahomes in and just keep letting him chuck
Trot
it?
him back out there. You bring Travis Kelce back on out here. Come on, but Tyreek Hill, guess what? You're still playing. We got 4-quarter football today, boys. Doesn't matter how many we're up. And then we're going to get those buses, and we're going to go right into that Death Star thing they got, and we're going to go ahead and peel rubber on the middle of the field.
Rev it up.
That's what we're going to do. That was wild to hear Andy Reid talk about that, because I think even when Donovan McNabb and T.O. were getting into it, he was always like super, like stay out of it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Were you ever on a team that did like victory laps on your bus in an away game?
I just got a text from Vinatieri. I thought it was going to be about the conversation. Hey, man, let Ryan Clark know I've ran for points. I've thrown a touchdown pass, and my quarterback ranking is higher than Peyton Manning and Tom Brady's.
Oh! Holy shit!
I think he meant rating, but it still plays. Vinatieri, I don't think anybody's questioned whether or not Vinatieri is a football player, by the way. Hawk Herschel Walker or whatever. Back in the day. I don't think I've ever been a part of a team dancing on our grave, other than like in college, when the fans rush the field and all that stuff. You know, that can kind of be construed as that, I guess. But Louisville did that to us. Other than that, I don't think so. How about you? Was there any teams that you guys? What about when Randy? Remember when Randy? No. Joe Buck lost his mind when Randy mooned Green Bay? I would assume as a Packers fan, I'd be like, oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. That would be how it is.
Yeah, that was before my time, before I got there. But yeah, I know Joe Buck got some criticism for his. He kind of had a hard stance against it, even though it's Randy Moss.
Oh no!
Everyone.
Oh no!
The comments.
They've already turned.
The comments.
Turn them off, Bill. Turn them off,
we should mute a couple. We should mute a couple words in there. Jesus.
Joe and Buck.
Oh yeah. Something to think about. Something to think about.
You hear Sean Payton though? Sean Payton. I know the Saints they take victory laps sometimes in away games.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton has a lot of swag, huh? It feels like he spoke.
Wears the patent leather Jordans every game, too.
Yeah, I think he has like a wide shoe collection. He's a sneakerhead. Feels like he's very competitive. He will jaw with players, talk shit to other players. I assume refs can get it, too, if you want to, the way normally if you have this certain trait, you probably also do this certain thing. I don't think I've seen him chew out refs, but I assume that happens. He came out when somebody asked a question today about the quarterback situation. He said, there's no update. I'm eating a bagel. I was hoping to be chewing it when you asked the question. Like, Sean Payton is a full-on, don't give a single damn mindset right now. And by the way, he's a quarterback that has the resume that could be like that. Those offenses have always been good. Who knows who's going to be their quarterback? Everybody's assuming it's Jameis Winston, but what if Taysom Hill are just split package in this whole thing? I'm intrigued to see how they handle it. But I like Sean Payton as a personality, as a character in the movie of life that I kind of view everything. I'm a Sean Payton fan for sure.
I mean, I think his resume speaks for itself, and the amount of points that they are able to put up. Yeah. How old is Sean Payton? He seems like he's been doing it forever, and he still seems super young.
I guess he's a hard ass, by the way. I guess he is like I guess he's one of those guys. Maybe he's evolved or something like that. But I think whenever he first got in, everybody was like, oh, he's a tough coach. Like,
56.
This guy's not fucking around.
Him and Marcus Peters, they got into it a couple years ago.
Oh,
during
yeah.
That,
it was a soup or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, I forget what it was, but it was during that 2018 season.
I thought they did a soup. No. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jordan in California. What's going on, Jordan?
Yo, what's up, Pat? What's up, boys? This is one of my favorite shows, so thank you guys for doing you.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for watching us, brother. Thanks for waking up early with us over there on the Pacific Coast. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Just being from Chino Hills, California, as you guys can see, you saw Melo Ball get drafted yesterday. I was going to ask, with the LeVar not wanting Melo to go to Charlotte, do you think LeVar and MJ are going to do one-on-one? And if they do one-on-one, who do you got? That's right.
Whoever does that, that's who's going to win. Great call, Jordan. I think Jordan would beat potentially LaMelo Ball right now, and then have the video be sent to LeVar Ball, if I had to guess. That's what I would guess. That is interesting, man, because that was a big storyline in the Ball family reality show there for a while. LeVar beating Jordan one-on-one or whatever, and that somehow gains steam. Because normally whenever you just make outlandish things like, okay, I'm smarter than Elon Musk, like, that's not going to garner much steam there. You know what I mean? That somehow did, which is awesome. Which you have to give credit to LeVar Ball, by the way, for being a guy that could stir the pot.
Right, because I think Jordan said almost immediately after, like, yeah, I'd beat him with one leg. Like, right now, I'd beat him with one leg.
And if you hear stories about Jordan playing one-on-one, I think I got a honey roasted peanut.
Oh, no.
Jeez. It just came up whenever the ball went over my head there.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. There's stories of Jordan playing one-on-one like nobody beat him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
That's one of those, like, who's more competitive than who type situation. And I feel like if we've watched anything about it, is that guy is maybe the most competitive human to ever exist, and it's not just going to go away, I don't think. I think if he knew how much AJ smoked cigars, Michael Jordan's cigar intake, which is already high, would probably go even more.
Yep.
I think that's just how he goes, you know what I mean?
Oh, you cut out on me.
You think you smoke more Stogs than Jordan?
What's that?
You think you smoke more Stogs than Jordan?
No way. Jordan, I mean, that dude has it figured out. He smokes in every vehicle he's in, every room he is in. He's never seen like a no smoking sign that he has obeyed. Like,
he's Michael Jordan, dude. I guess that's why, like, back in the day, there was maybe some bills that weren't paid and stuff like that.
Oh, that's all lies.
No, that's just what I've heard. I'm not saying they're true.
He also smokes like 1 foot cigars too, by the way.
Yeah, they're like super. What are they? Are those a certain style as a stogie guy? Those super long ones. What are those?
Yeah, what are they called?
Churchill.
Churchill.
As in Winston?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, Winston Churchill pretty good at war.
Oh yeah,
damn good.
I'm going to war games in December 6th, by the way.
That's right.
Ooh.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not war, but we're looking to be undefeated down there.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to lead a group of men down into war games. And we're going to come out undefeated, I'll tell you that.
Is that a pay-per-view?
Yeah. It's coming up real quick, by the way. I just learned about it this morning. Not a lot of time for your old buddy to get in shape to get thrown around in a couple of steel cages.
Front spot. Look at you. Prime position right there in the front.
Yeah, there was a couple other ones where I wasn't. We had to search deep for this one. We had to search deep for it. All right, we got to get to a break. Hour 3 here on this Thursday, November 19th. On the other side, we'll answer some phone calls. Shout out to Jordan for that call.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be intrigued to hear how Jordan and LeVar get along.
Be very interesting.
Because, when he goes to L.A., he goes to New Orleans. Zoe, right? Lonzo?
Mm-hmm.
His dad wasn't down in New Orleans much, right?
Oh, no.
I assume it's potentially a similar thing, maybe?
Yeah. Like,
Probably.
hey, we didn't draft you. We drafted your son. So
LaMelo,
there's no reason for you to be here.
Yeah, LaMelo has distanced himself a little bit from LeVar as well.
Except for last night.
As far as he could.
Night, yes.
Which, by the way,
Australia.
Families and Lithuania. Family is pumped, though, that he got drafted. As he should be, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You get multiple kids drafted in the NBA, that's pretty damn impressive.
I do believe LeVar tried to get LaMelo to buy Big Baller brand, and he said no.
So LeVar was trying to sell a company to his son?
Uh-huh.
What a fucking family, dude. Every day they're hustling, dude. You got to do what you got to do to make it. Now, 2 of them in the NBA, they're going to be able to make as much money as possible. Well, they continue to support the family business, which is the reality TV show business, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. 19 minutes into the hour here. We will see you on the other side. About 4 minutes, more phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show with AJ Hawk. Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
I'm just checking your availability. If you're in Indianapolis now, did you get to Buffalo?
Yeah, I got a plane that's supposed to take me down to game day anyway, so I could definitely have it go to Buffalo first. How long is the flight from Indy to Buffalo? You can find us a plane for like 4 o'clock. I think that'll be perfect.
It has to be produced in part around 5:30.
Okay, do we have any other, can you find any other planes that can get us out of here earlier than that? I was just asked if I could appear in Buffalo within the next 4 hours to basically do the show on Fox tonight.
Okay, I'll call you back.
You know what I'm asking for?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to call Jim Irsay and see if I can just use Jim's jet. He's calling me back shortly, but just start packing.
Hey.
You're the absolute best. Does this sound like a potential yes, you're saying? He's the fucking best. I would be so thankful. Hey, this is really cool. I don't know how many billionaires would do this for people that have worked for them in the past. This is awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. Can I take a kendo stick to his back?
We'll talk about it when you get here.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Hey, let's break the fucking internet tonight. What a hilarious life. We are live on Fox in 6 hours and 35 minutes. 3 hours of sleep, no clue what the storylines are. Just fucking let the nuts swing, bro. Let's just go out there and have a good time. Plane company. I know. Here we go, boys. All right. Talk smack down tonight. This is going to be a night we're going to look back on and remember. And then we're going to hop on a plane and head to Memphis for College Game Day. I think this is a joke too. I just want to let you know, like, this is a Truman Show. I very much understand that this is not supposed to happen. I got the text at 1:42 p.m. today from Mr. H that says, "Have you heard there have been some travel issues? Can you make your way to Buffalo?" Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, literally lent me his plane. Might be the most confident I ever tweeted on it. Something. I didn't know we were that good of friends, to be honest. I was throwing a Hail Mary, and he responded and said, yeah. So I got here about an hour and a half before the show, and to work with Renee, Tom, and be on SmackDown with a bucket of makeup on my face. This has been a dream come true bucket list type situation here in beautiful Buffalo, New York. Come on, boys. We're going to be on cable.
Here by Pat McAfee, replacing our guest commentator Aiden English.
No sleeves in, George. Good to see you.
It feels good here in Buffalo. I got a text from the game, a cerebral WWE official. He said, hey, you might have heard about the travel issues. Can you make it to Buffalo? I said, absolutely. What a magical evening it is, November 1st, 2019. I mean, let's be honest. The Marine was a heater. You know what I mean? He's a great actor. He was great on The Real World. He was great on all of that. Tegan, That's how they do it in NXT, baby. Almost took me out holding another grown lady in the air. November 1st, 2019, greatest SmackDown in the history of SmackDown.
Pat, you joining us? It might absolutely be correct the way things have gone here tonight.
SmackDown in the history of SmackDowns, November 1st, 2019. It's documented. I had a good time out there, man. I had no idea what was happening, so it was really just natural reaction to everything. That was awesome, dude. That's a real bucket list thing. Game day bucket list. This is like complete bucket list. 2 in 1 week. Oh yeah. Got a horseshoe shoved up my ass and a horseshoe owner lending us a plane. Are you kidding me, dude?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
That was a pretty big dramatic beat there at the beginning. Yeah. Did not expect that. Nobody listening to this show is sleeping on Arby's anymore.
Not anymore.
The sandwiches are made fresh to order every single day. They're brisket, okay? Which I ate 2 of them earlier. Double meat, add bacon, and cheddar cheese slice. Ooh. I'm going no bun because I'm trying to cut out the carbs a little bit. The brisket that I eat every day, slow roasted for 13 hours.
My God.
Wow. You can taste it too, by the way. You can, when you bite into it, you go, God damn.
Tender brisket.
God damn.
And there's some people that send us pictures of their brisket because they want to kind of make meat for the office because they hear I'm potentially going on the keto and everything like that. And they send us pictures of their brisket. And they look delicious. But whenever I look at the tenderness of the meat and I put it next to this smokehouse brisket sandwich that I eat every day, literally, it looks the same. That should not be happening with fast food.
No, it shouldn't.
And that's the Arby's difference.
Oh, yeah.
Is it's better sandwiches because there's better products and there's a much wider variety than anywhere else.
They got the meats.
But
not just the meats.
The meats. Yeah. They do have the meats.
Oh, yeah.
And
Obviously.
the meats are incredible. Okay, obviously they got the roast beef, which is what they're known for.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
You can even add some cheddar on that, by the way,
Oh,
and really
yeah.
get going. They have the brisket that I'm talking about.
Okay.
They have turkey breast.
Yeah.
Okay, they have buffalo chicken.
Whoa. Right.
Yeah, they have, I mean, the list goes on and on with the meats, but right now, the thing we're going to talk about, maybe their greatest invention yet.
Really?
Fried turkey club.
Oh!
Yeah, a deep fried turkey club.
Come on.
Deep fried turkey breast, natural cheddar cheese, pepper bacon, beet drop for that, lettuce, tomato, and mayo, all on a toasted star top bun. So don't try to blow up your house if you don't know how to deep fry turkey. Know that you can get great deep fried turkey in the Deep Fried Turkey Club from Arby's. And right now you can have a free delivery. Oh, Great beat here. You can get free delivery on orders of $15 or more on DoorDash whenever you order from Arby's using promo code MEATS, MEATS. Yeah, they can just show up at your doorstep. 13 hours slow roasted brisket can show up on your goddamn doorstep.
Jeez. Hope they're open on Thanksgiving.
Oh, deep fried turkey club? Gotta have it.
Yep.
And by the way, if you're being tasked with cooking the turkey, and let's say you maybe don't want to drop that thing in there and boom, or you don't know what you're doing, you're a little bit worried about it, that's what you do. You go get that deep fried turkey club, you take the deep fried turkey out of it, and then you just line it up next to each other as if you had sliced the turkey with one of them perfectly, and it's just boom, delicious all the way through. You're a hero. Thanks to Arby's. Congrats to us.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Next time that you're doing a taste test between Arby's and a lot of the smoked brisket that a lot of the fans send in, I guess fully cooked smoked brisket, let me know. I want to come try it with you.
Yeah, you should. But hey, if you've not, are you a brisket guy?
No, not at all. But I didn't know all these people are sending you so much brisket.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The amount of, I will say this: the arrivals at the office. I think it's since people have been, kind of locked in their houses, so they just get bored and send shit.
Yeah.
And Amazon has made it very easy for people just to order shit and send shit. The arrivals at our office have probably upped, 20 to 25-fold. The amount of things that just show up here. It's getting to a point where, I feel bad throwing stuff away that comes here, but we're getting to a point where we're running out of space to put shit. We have so much cool shit that arrives here. And some of it is me. Yeah, we got rims. We got rims sent to. Yeah. Zito finessed somebody to send him rims.
Attaboy, Zeets.
Right on 24s, baby.
The office is becoming a collector's, but the next time meat is going to arrive, we'll tell you. That's happened 2 times in the last month.
It's good. I didn't know people were putting that much time into it. And how do they send it? Are they wrap it in something, make it
dry ice?
Go up fresh?
It's normally the dry ice is what steaks. When we get steaks sent here, there's a lot of that. The brisket's been hand delivered though. By the way. It's coming because it has to because of the whole thing or whatever. But hey, social distancing. Sorry, I can't come in, pal. Sorry.
No. Yeah.
We'll take your meat though for sure.
Leave it at the door.
Take a picture at the front.
I know you guys probably Connor's a big basketball guy, and we don't need to talk about the draft, but was there any crazy things that happened? I know Connor seems to be dialed into basketball.
Shams won the night.
Oh yeah.
Did he?
The stadium.
He called it all?
Yeah, Shams won the night. From what I heard, he and Woj were in a little bit of a battle there, and Woj is not allowed because he works at ESPN, which has a deal with the NBA. He's not allowed to actually say who gets picked, right? So he said he has a bunch of ways to phrase it, basically, instead of saying somebody picked it, so that he can kind of dance around the clause in the ESPN contract that he's not allowed to give away picks before everybody else. But Shams had a couple winners. Shams even got out before those as well. So your guy at Stadium, our friend of our show, Shams had a big night last night. Shams had a Super Bowl. I think he was trending at one point, actually. Good for Shams. Zito sent him a message around pick 10, asking if Zito could break the pick 12 news. And
Shockley said no.
It was a promptly no.
Damn it.
It was a prompt no that got sent back. So
I tried.
Shams was busy last night.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing really crazy happened there, right?
No, me and Ty actually were talking about how this draft was absolute trash because there was nothing going on. Everybody went in order. I mean, it is what it is.
There was a couple trades, right? Klay Thompson tears his Achilles after coming back off a torn ACL, so that's the big news of the night. Danny Green got traded for a 1 and a 2 from Oklahoma City, a team that he never even played on, to Philadelphia. And everybody's saying Philadelphia made a move to make it a money dump, basically, to get rid of some people in the first round pick. So there's really not much about the draft being talked about.
No.
Everything else in the NBA is being talked about because the NBA was in the forefront of conversation, I think. What was that, Diggs? You were going to say something?
No, I was completely agreeing with you.
Okay. The action, though, anything happened? Last night, while I was eating boots in my mouth, unbelievably, by the way, just eating boots to the mouth. I got a little swollen little thing down here, down in my mouth, you know what I mean? No concussion, though. I'm good.
Thank God.
That's good. Hopefully they tested you. Hopefully, did you take another test? Did they compare it to your baseline?
Yeah, the baseline, by the way, it's only like a 2.5-hour test. So, I'm sure that's something that a lot of people are going to do. But no, yeah, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, but as soon as it all happened, I saw what was happening right from my eyes, but it was also emotional. I couldn't do anything about it. So, that's a little bit of a weird feeling. But there was action last night, right? Anything good happened last night?
Yeah, there was a shootout. Western Michigan beat Central Michigan 52-44.
Ooh, that's a high score.
Yeah, the Mac is not afraid to put up some points.
Who's number 1 for a team last night? Everybody said he's a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, he had 4 catches for, I think it was 205 yards.
Golly.
The bronze stalk stayed with Ball State, beating NIU.
Chirp. Let's go, Ball State.
Chirp it up.
Chirp, dude.
4 catches, 212 yards.
Jeez.
All right, let's get to some phone calls here. We are 30 minutes into this last hour. Let's go to Jake in Ohio. Jake, what's up, bub?
Boys, good shout out there to Mitt. Definitely not in Ohio, calling from Rhode Island.
He's on fire today.
Mitt's had a rough day. But all right, Jake in Rhode Island, what do you want to talk about, pal? Jesus.
Watching the NFL draft last night, and it's happened in the NFL as well. What are your thoughts on moving entirely into the athlete's home with their family around them rather than shipping them out to some random city?
Great question there, pal. And I think the thing about it is AJ had a chance to go to a draft. Did you go to a draft, AJ?
I did not go when I was drafted. I went the next year when my brother-in-law was.
Okay, so when Brady, is that because Brady wanted to go and you did not want to go? You were 5th overall pick. What was he?
He ended up going, I don't know, late 20-something maybe.
See, that's the problem there. So were you invited to go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gil Brandt was really putting the pressure on me hard to come to the draft. But I think I've said on here before, I was in school still. I had just got done traveling to like 4 or 5 different teams. I was like, nope, I am not coming and going to go parade around New York City for 6 days and go to all these different things. I just couldn't do it, man. I didn't want to.
Oh, you had to train too. You know, while all these people are getting ready for, red carpets and all these things that happen before the draft and getting asked questions about how you're going to change the team that you're going to go to into an instant Super Bowl contender when you've never taken a single snap in the NFL. And you get put in these situations to say things that are incredibly egregious and wild expectations upon yourself. And then also on draft night, you can be turned into a bad meme just as much as you could turn into a good. I mean, it is a setup for failure. Now, granted, getting to go to the draft and announce a pick, that was awesome to be able to do that. So I'm appreciative that guys do go because it is a great show. But just you,
everybody goes now, though. Everybody goes. There's like the first 2 rounds are there.
3.
Like.
I think it was 3. I think guys into the 3rd round because I announced the 3rd round. No, 2nd and 3rd the same night. That's probably why. But there's guys that got drafted in the 3rd round that were there. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think I've ever been confident enough in an executive's decision or thought or opinion on me to be like, yeah, I'll go sit there and wait for somebody to make the right decision here on me. You go in 5th overall. Joe Thomas was out on a fishing boat when he got drafted, I think I recall, whenever he was one of those top. Did you?
Yeah, he had Joe had a camera crew with him on the boat. I remember when he got picked, they cut to him.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was good there or not, but he did just make millions of dollars immediately on that fishing boat there. Did you know you were going to go? Was there any doubt or any thought at all that you weren't going to go in top 10?
Oh, yeah, there's tons of doubt. We had no idea. I mean, I visited different teams in the top 10, and none of them really gave me a read. I didn't talk to Green Bay much other than at the Combine. They didn't bring me in for a workout. Ted Thompson was a GM at the time. It was Mike McCarthy's first year as the head coach. They definitely kept it under wraps. So, no, I had no idea that was a big reason, too. I didn't want to go. I was like, I don't know. I might not go in the first round. Like, who knows?
Yeah, that's what the people that go – I think, like Aaron, for instance, Aaron had one of those bad nights, and he was, pick 22 or something like that.
Last guy in the green room.
Yeah, I was picked 222, okay? 222. I was 200 picks after Aaron Rodgers, and people would think that my draft weekend was much better than Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? And it's because you get put into this, fishbowl where they just zoom in on you. Brady, I think it happened to Brady, right? It happened to Brady as well.
Big time, yeah, because Brady, it was possible. Jamarcus went number 1 overall that year to the Raiders, and there was talk Brady could have gone there. Maybe they didn't know. So then when he fell, they're trying to see okay, well, what teams are going to draft a quarterback and all this stuff. I think they moved Brady from the green room back to some area where the commissioner was just to get him off camera. I think he'd been there so long.
Well, and then it's happened not only him, Lamar it happened to, Johnny Manziel. We remember that whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of rolling of the dice whenever you go to the draft, and whenever they do it at the houses, which is what he was talking about. Man, that's a lot easier where it's we can just flip over them. Now, they were flipping over the NFL draft to some miserable houses. And if I'm in that house, by the way, I'm helping a friend out and I'm putting a little bit of a hoodie maybe on that camera or whatever. Sorry, we just got something on it there for a little bit. Sorry. And then whenever they get drafted, let's go ahead and do that. But I think you can save people from a lot of embarrassment. But that Nashville draft was awesome, man. That thing was so. If the NFL can continue to do that, I think they should try. If they can duplicate that again, they should try to do that again somewhere, which they will, and it probably won't happen. But that was worth it.
Do you think they're going back to Vegas when it does eventually
with the
come
boats
around?
And everything?
Yeah, with the boats.
Does that not feel like that's too much, right? I feel like that's too much. When I was hearing that, with the boat, something will happen. There'll be a malfunction with the boat.
It's awesome. Looking for it almost.
Makes it even better. A lot better viewership. Then think it'll go viral on the internet. More people will tune in. That's what they want.
Nobody cares about the players, huh? That are sitting on a sinking ship in the biggest night of their
I
life.
care about them when they play on Sunday.
What's that?
When they play on Sunday, yeah.
Oh, so just show
Draft
ponies
nights
out
for-
there, draft night.
Draft
oh,
nights
my
for
God, you're a
us, dude.
scumbag.
Draft nights for
Scumbags.
Turning
everywhere.
into millionaires. Let them sit on a boat for a little bit.
They're not all turning into millionaires. They're the second and third rounders, dude.
The ones who are hopping on that boat, they're definitely turning into millionaires.
Oh, so it's like, hey, congrats. Have you ever been on a boat before? No. Oh, well, guess what? You just, biggest night of your life. Your dreams just came true. You just made $1 million. Now get on this tiny little fucking boat that's never had a human your size on it before, and we got to go ahead and putt you over 50 yards to a stage over there so you can go dap up Roger Goodell.
Hope you don't drown in the fountain.
Oh, and by the way,
the fountain's 2 feet deep. So.
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Check off 2 boxes. You're never in a boat. Look, you're going to get in a boat, and then you're going to get drafted to the NFL. Congratulations.
No.
2 dreams in one night.
You already got drafted to the NFL. Stay your ass off the goddamn boat.
They use jet skis.
Spoken like a true Patriots fan.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
They don't care about anybody. They don't even put their best players on Pro Bowl ballots.
We always trade out of the first round. So
yeah, truly. Yeah, probably haven't had one in a long time.
No, not a long time.
There was a team that didn't have a first-round draft pick this year, and they traded up into the first round.
Is that right?
And it was kind of an electric moment after
Who'd they grab?
5-hour draft. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Oh,
yeah.
How's that working?
Well, it's a great quarterback draft. Probably
We
a
don't
good
know.
pick, right?
Packers are 7-2, baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
worked
even worry about that.
Yeah.
That happened this year.
Yeah, that was a big night, actually. You had a big night that night. Right?
I know I did.
You had one of the biggest nights, I think, of a lot of people on the internet in history that particular night because of that pick, that trade up in there.
And I knew. I said, you know what? This is going to piss Raj off, and look out for the Packers next year.
Let's go to Darian down there in South Carolina. What's going on, Darian?
What's up? What's up? I just want to say I'm first time caller, been long time listener. I've never watched an episode of NXT in my life till you went on there.
My guy.
Yeah.
My guy, Darian, I appreciate you. We're at war with this wrestling community. They're a bunch of idiots, okay? We can outsmart them, no problem at all. And we're much stronger than them. And last night, they had a good moment I was in. They all laughed around their little laptops last night whenever I got kicked in the mouth. We'll be back, Darian. Hey, we will be back, Darian. Don't you worry about that. With your help. With your help, too, Darian.
Yep. But I'm a longtime Broncos fan, so I never forget that hit on Trendon Holiday. But, you know, I'm calling for Vic Fangio's job.
Wow, it's about time.
Jesus.
It's about damn time. After that timeout debacle, yeah, I would have been calling for it after that game.
Hey, that was night 1, right?
Yeah.
That was literally night 1, I think, against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
That was when Gostkowski missed 4 kicks and then still had enough time, though, to kick the game winner down there. I mean, that whole situation is very interesting. And I could text directly into the building because I employ his son and he's a good friend of mine, but I'm not going to. I assume that building is potentially on fire right now, and that is a very miserable place, and I assume they all know that their jobs are probably on the line. What's going on, dude?
But, like, it's his second year. He's had a lot of injuries. Like, has he been that bad that he
hasn't had Von Miller for 2 years, right, at this point? And that's like your highest paid guy.
Not a rookie quarterback, but young quarterback, young offense.
Do you think Vic Fangio is going to win him a Super Bowl?
No, probably not.
Yeah, and I would assume that's what a lot of fans are thinking as well.
Bring in Harbaugh.
Yeah, but if you just sit on a guy that you know not going to get it, are you a little bit complacent? Harbaugh, that's interesting. Is his stock anywhere at a place where he, like a lot of people are like, he's going to go back to the NFL? It's like, what NFL team is going to be like, yeah, let's get that guy that just, completely buried Michigan. That's the guy we want. I don't know.
Not happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Do people think he's going to go to the NFL and get a head coaching gig right away?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what it's been. I don't think Harbaugh's coming in to be a quarterback coach. I don't think anybody's like, hire Harbaugh to be a quarterback coach. I don't think that's happening. I think everybody's like,
would he take an NFL gig to be an offensive coordinator?
Would they hire? Would you think? I mean, Jason Garrett's an offensive coordinator now.
If a team, like let's say a team came after him, he's like, oh, great, I'd love to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Like, no. We're going to get a head coach, or we're going to keep Vic, but we want you to be our OC. Like, do you think he would accept that, or is he saying, no, it's head coach or nothing?
I know nothing about the guy. I think I know less about Jim Harbaugh And I think people know less about Jim Harbaugh. He's like an enigma. You know what I mean? He really is. Because he comes in, there's a big wave, there's a big hype, there's a big this. And he had success in San Francisco. Okay, so I understand that. He wore cleats for warming up. I remember he did that with his khakis. He wore cleats or whatever.
Awesome.
And he's like, who has it better than us? Nobody. Like, I understand that whole thing. But then this Michigan thing, which he was like the dream hire by the Michigan fans. Like, hey, we got a Michigan guy in here. We got somebody that's good, blah, blah, blah. And that has not worked out well at all. Now, granted, do you think any place is like on COVID conditions, we're not going to fire anybody for the outcomes of this particular season, especially because it's not counting towards anybody's eligibility or anything like that? That's what you have to ask if Michigan's going to fire him. But I guess he's coming up on his last year of his contract next year. And in college, if you don't have any years past that, how can you recruit and say, hey, this is what we're trying to build? It's going to be hard to recruit whenever you only have 1 year left. So who knows what's going to happen? But everybody just assumes that it's like, this guy's going to be an NFL head coach. It's like, what NFL team is going to be like, yeah, give me that guy? I'm not 100% sure who it is.
I mean, all it takes is one. That's what they say. I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it.
The 49ers were
and if
bad,
they move on
too, at the end of his tenure there.
What's that?
The 49ers were bad at the end of his tenure there. Like, he didn't walk out with a winning team there.
Stanford, they were good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good at Stanford.
Didn't he have Andrew Luck, though?
Andrew Luck. Yeah, I mean, that is...
It's very helpful.
Kevin Hogan, too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the Hogs.
Mhm.
The Hogs had a little Ryan Fitzmagic in him. He would run his face into some things.
He did.
He would throw some picks, too. Yeah, I remember the Hogs.
Weapon.
Stanford was awesome to watch back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Three tights all the time.
Yeah, Kobe Fleener, by the way, we got one of them. He was a great athlete. He had good hair, too, and then he cut his hair as well. I shouldn't have done it.
Hey, where's Bryce Love? You guys know where Bryce Love is?
The Washington football team.
Okay.
How's he playing?
I believe he's hurt.
Well, they got another rookie.
Let's go to Joey in Michigan. Speaking of Michigan, what's going on, bub?
What's going on?
Hey, pal, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, how the boys doing? How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, Connor almost got beat
Hey,
up by the
Yeah, that's scary.
At first, I wanted to talk about how Aaron Jones is the best running back in the
Pete
league.
Davidson.
But then I had some time to think about the Dallas Mavericks are going to make a championship run this year.
Oh,
Dallas Mavericks championship run.
He tried.
Oh yeah, they got all the foreigners, right? They got all the they got like a European UN over there going, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Man,
I mean, if they get
Luka
that, who's that kid, Luka?
Luka Doncic.
Luka was awesome to watch in the bubble. That guy was
Kristaps.
electrifying. Joey, what's going on? Thanks for calling, bub. That team. Oh no, you know what I did? I stuck it up through the hoodie there.
Yeah.
My batteries died mid-question. I have no idea what that guy said. Like AJ, when these things go, I can't hear a damn thing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he wants the Dallas Mavs to go on a run for the championship. So yeah, I think so. Yep, it's going to happen. This is the year.
Is LeBron James still playing basketball?
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're not then. That's how I feel.
They're still very good.
Is Anthony Davis a Laker still?
Not yet. He's got to re-sign a contract.
Come back home, baby.
Oh, I
Come back
remember
home.
shortly after the championship, it was.
Oh, no.
It was that Anthony Davis. You're all right. We'll get it later. It was that Anthony Davis was going back to the Lakers. Was excited to go back, and to tie this back to football, which is what we talk about here on this show, because that's the only thing we should talk about. Because it's really, I mean, nobody's like, you know what's a good basketball take from Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk. I said, Chris Jones immediately after Super Bowl was like, can't wait to be back. You know, that whole thing. He was in the middle of a contract dispute with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he was taking the world by storm during that playoff run for his play. Second best D tackle in football, widely acknowledged by everybody. He was going to be a free agent. He was like, I can't wait to be back. And then just like 2 weeks after that, you know, the parade that went through Kansas City, Missouri, where it actually led off with a police chase, and everybody was drunk, and they had you have the snowboard goggles on, and everybody's getting hammered, and you know that whole thing's happening. The hangover from that wears off, and then it's like you have a conversation with some people who maybe are in the business side of things for you, and they're like, listen, this is what's potentially possible out here, and all of a sudden you go, well, I didn't mean I was 100% coming back, right? And I thought that was going to happen with Anthony Davis, and it did, and now he's opted out. And they're probably just gonna have to repay him. Is that what it's just gonna have to be a
He makes more
re-sign?
money that way.
He'll make more. He was supposed to make $29 million. Turn that option down, so he'll probably get like a $35 a year.
You know, it was a 28.75 or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So the number, yeah. And James Harden said, "Take your $50 million and shove it. I want to go to the Nets." And then yesterday, Sham Sharania, who was training last night during the draft, it was the Super Bowl. He did well. he said that the package that it's going to take to get James Harden is going to be one that's too big for anybody to get. So is James Harden going to hold out next year?
Houston said they do not mind an uncomfortable season if they have to stick to Russ and James if they don't want to play for Houston. They do not care.
Oh my God! What is the see? This is the NBA, just like with the MLB.
Yep.
Feels like NBA and MLB. Everything happening outside of the sport is awesome.
Yeah.
Like baseball, but anything happening outside the actual game itself is awesome. And then the sports themselves can turn some people off from, like NBA is hated by some people.
Oh, yeah.
Makes no sense. You got the highlight reel all the time. You don't have to watch, by the way. It's just on Twitter. They'll show you.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time.
Keep
That's
your
where the draft-
eye out for baseball, though. The MLB hot stove is going to start heating up.
Winter
here soon.
meetings,
Yeah,
Whoa.
winter meetings.
What's that mean?
It's off season. Off season starts. A lot of guys moving around, going different places.
What's the hot stove?
I don't know. They call it that every year. The MLB hot stove.
Oh, that's the AFC North. The AFC North's the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does get hot in there.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin likes being in the kitchen. And LeBron James likes Mike Tomlin. That's why the Lakers are going to win again.
Ooh.
That's how you tie it all together. Let's go to Jeff in Iowa. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, not too shabby, man. What do you want to talk about?
First, shout out to the boys, obviously. They're the best. I wanted to say, I was wondering if two a time was a legitimate thing, if it's legitimate, and why nobody's really talking about it.
Fuck you, Jeff. Just,
Go fuck yourself.
just, just.
Why do you feel so strong? What is?
Just do me a courteous, shout out to me. I just put you on the fucking line, I could have not done it. Our show would be better without you fucking talking, and I'll let you on because I like our show being a community show. And then just not even shout out to you. Some people go hey, fuck you, Pat. Shout out to the boys. They're the best. Also, while I'm on your show with your name on it, taking up your time, I have something stupid to say. It's fuck you, Jeff. How about that? How about you? How about you go to the part of Iowa that doesn't have any service that Dallas Clark kind of dumps in and out of whenever he's on the show? That'd be great. Let's go to Paul in New York. Paul, what's going on?
Hey, I'm Pat and the boys. Congratulations on all your success. It's much appreciated. In a time like this, we need an extra 3 hours to get us away from reality, so I appreciate you guys.
Hey, we appreciate the appreciation. And we appreciate your appreciation of everything we have going on.
Thank you.
I got a quick question. Going back to the Bills game versus the Raiders, it looked like in the background that the holder looked like he threw down a coin on the ground. Is that something that a holder would do, kind of like an aim small, miss small spot when they go to hold the field goal?
Paul, great question. It's not a coin. Normally it is I didn't do this. Vinatieri didn't like it, but there's some kickers that ask their holders to do it. So normally it's like a different color piece of turf. So if you're directly on the paint of the line yard marker, you'll take a little green piece of grass or a green piece of turf and you'll just put it down and that'll be the spot in which it's going to. Now, that helps in a couple different fashions, obviously. So when the kicker's taking his steps back, although normally, I don't think it's anywhere near a majority of people do this, the kicker will line up off where your pointer finger's at or wherever the spot is and they go. So if there's a spot down there, the holder can kind of move their hands back or whatever, get prepped, the kicker can see it. And then whenever you're holding, you kind of have like an eye guide so you don't miss the spot. Now, normally amateur holders will do that and most people don't. But if you're off by just a half an inch, there's a good chance the kicker's going to miss. So the spot is so damn important. A lot of people think the laces are the most important. Now, granted, they are very important and that job is done by the long snapper. It's the long snapper's job to get the laces just somewhere in the front as opposed to the back. Like that is literally what their job is. They're being judged off that. They're being paid a lot of money for that. They are to snap the ball the exact same way every single time, same amount of rotations. That's why the spot is so important because, for instance, for Matt Overton, it was like 8 yards and like 8 yards, 6 inches was his exact spot or whatever. And every single time the laces were up. Now, granted, there'd be a couple days or maybe he's too jacked up or maybe he was a little bit slower, but normally he was on every single time. It was very rare whenever he wasn't. The job of the holder is spot first, make sure you're in the right spot, then the lean. Lean is the second most important part because if you lean a ball towards a soccer-style kicker, that's almost a guaranteed miss at this point. And then last is to figure out any last-minute effort to fix the snapper's mess up. So the spot thing is so important, and that's why you'll see a piece of turf down there. And I don't think it's illegal. I've never done it, but I have seen people do it. And it's actually pretty crafty. Like, I thought it was a pretty good idea. But for me, I think I tried it one time in practice, and I found myself thinking about it too much, and I'd rather just do it. But if you're a holder out there, a young holder, okay, when you're a young holder, you know, way back in the day, they used to have, for a right-footed kicker, the person would have their near leg up, their back leg all the way back, and then they would hold it with their right hand for a right-legged kicker. At some point, some holder had a brain and was like, well, this is stupid. So they flipped it. You go your left leg back, basically. You're squatted down, and you have your open body to the snapper, okay? Then whenever you go ahead and mark the spot for the kicker, you just have your elbow hit your knee, basically. It's like a backstop for where it's at. You know what I mean? And then you hold it with the hand that is closest to the kicker, because then you have no chance of blocking it at all with your finger, and also they can see the entire ball. So it's an entire science at this point, but the spot is the most important part of the whole thing, then the lean, then the laces. So not a bad question, kind of lean into that whole thing. But yeah, the backstop thing is real. I mean, that's a real thing, AJ.
Have you ever come across a kicker that doesn't care? That's like, hey man, just get it down. I don't care.
Yeah, that was kind of my style, and I realized that probably not the right move. You know what I mean? Probably not the right move. It was yeah, if you have it, as long as you don't have it leaning towards me, buddy, I don't care. I'll figure it out. Turns out that was, you know, potentially a reason why I wasn't as consistent, I guess, because I wasn't as diligent. But Vinatieri, I mean, he worked me, man. I lied right to Bill Pulley and told him I knew how to hold. I did not. I had never held before. I figured I was athletic enough to figure it out, though. I had great holders in college. They were very, very good, and I was like, I've seen them do it. I think I could figure it out. Vinatieri sent me to a holding boot camp. I went down to Ken Walter's house down in Carolina for like a day and a half before Super Bowl champion. He has the hold in the snow and the Super Bowl championship hold. He's a great holder. Vinatieri flew me down there, stayed at the guy's house. He taught me how to hold. And then that whole training camp, my rookie year, Vinny threw me, 500, 600 balls every single night in my dorm room, just like, oh, hey, you are not going to fuck up my career. Hey, you got it, buddy. Here we go. And then there's a bunch of drills you can do where you have like 3 people standing, and they'll just toss you balls, and you catch, turn it to the laces, and throw it back. And then as you're throwing it back, somebody else is throwing it, catch, turn it to the laces. Ooh. Yeah, there's like holder drills that happen, and I did them all. And I took a lot of pride in that. But my first game, that was what I was most nervous for, was the holding. Granted, I wasn't really ever a punter before either, but I figured I'd just close my eyes, swing hard, the ball's going to go somewhere. The holding thing, I could ruin a whole guy's fucking legacy.
Yeah, did you ever fuck one up in Vinny?
Oh, yeah. I messed up one time over there in Cincinnati. Bobble. Missed. Yeah. And they zoomed in on it, too, and it was used in a highlight package for our team the next week. Huh. And I was like, because it was zoomed in on the hold. That's it. And then the kick. It's literally my only drop that I've ever had.
Interesting.
I was not happy about it.
How'd Vinny react?
Yeah, Vinny, I mean, I think we almost had a perfect season once. I think his percentage was very, very high. I was a fucking damn good holder. I was a damn good holder. And your hands can't be too good, because if your hands are too good, they go in too far, and it's too slow. So it's like you can't have too soft of hands. It's like a happy medium there. It's an art.
Is there pros and cons for gloves?
Maybe. I guess
for you at least, like
for me, I always wore the left glove for the catch, and then the right hand was finding the laces.
Yeah.
And also, you wear the left glove, you can do it one-handed if you really have to. Yeah. We all do it. Somebody did it in a game. Maniac. I mean, that guy is awesome. Whoever did it, warrior. A lot of respect. I have a lot of respect, because that could go wrong, and you are out of a job immediately. Why'd you even? Well, it would have been cool. Huh? You know what else is cool? New fucking punter.
You packing your bags.
Oh, man, what a life. AJ, you were a snapper, you said, right? High school?
No.
Punter.
I punted and kicked it.
That's right. Man, your FaceTime's so bad. It's probably us.
It's terrible.
It has to be us.
Trust me. It is not me. I know.
Trust you, huh?
Oh.
I've sent you how, like, my internet speeds. I don't know what's happening. I did update my computer. That may be something.
Nah, it could be that. Could be us as well. We updated the computer. We had to somehow go in there and re-update it so that we could still do stuff. So it might be the update, actually.
D-update?
Yeah, maybe.
D-date?
Can you de-update?
Oh, D-date. I mean, Jesus, D-day. A little close.
Is Little Hawk playing Fortnite or something?
Let's go to, is Mike Hawk playing? Last question here. Let's go to Noah in Buffalo before we wrap up this show. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, Pat. How you doing, man?
Not too shabby, bud. We got about 90 seconds here. What do you want to talk about?
First of all, I just wanted to ask, is AJ one of the boys?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, Pat, boys. Just wanted to know if you thought the Bills were a legit contender this year. Thanks for your call, man.
Hey, thank you. No, thanks for your call too, dude. I see what he did there because he didn't know if he had to single out AJ. Which, by the way, I appreciate Noah doing that. Noah, named after a person who was an incredibly blue collar son of a bitch.
Yeah, hard worker.
Also, first documented blackout.
True.
Yeah, very true.
People forget about that. Noah is the first documented blackout. He's found naked in his vineyard by his children. I'll tell you what, if you save the entire world, it'd be hard not to celebrate that off your own wine as well. The Bills contenders, who knows, man? We have no idea. The Bills are hot AFC favorites. Josh Allen MVP, and then there's a couple weeks, and then there's this. The AFC is going to be very, very difficult. Josh Allen, though, is a guy who could win you a game, though, because he can run, he can throw, he can do it all. But you got Tua storming in the AFC East. You got Bill Belichick with a time-traveling machine to know what's going to happen in that game. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. You got so many teams in the AFC. It could be tough, but, hey, I'll be excited to see if Bills Mafia can do it. AJ, you got 2 seconds. Anything for the SiriusXM listeners?
I think the Bills, they have a chance. That's all you can ask for, right, Pat?
Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. Perfect. We hit it. We hit it perfectly. We hit it perfectly there. No, say what you're going to say about the Bills, though. I am intrigued to hear this.
Oh, no. I mean, I was trying to speak over your heart out.
Oh, my. Little gamesmanship there for the show.
Well, for the guy that called, if you're thinking, the Bills have a chance. Yeah, I would say, of course they have a chance. I mean, there's a lot of teams right now that do, but there's also a big chunk of teams that you can say absolutely have no chance of making a run.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're at the point, and the way Darius said this is, we're at the point in the season where we're going to learn about who the contenders are and who the pretenders are. You know what I mean? And I think that's
night's the night.
Yeah, I think tonight is a real night that helps it out in the NFC West. And also, when you find out who the contenders are and who the pretenders are, you have to think about how the pretenders are going to do with the COVID stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Week 14, week 15, week 16, week 17. Our team stinks. We still stink. Off season's 3 weeks away. That's going to be interesting how that all gets balanced out whenever teams are already ruled out, how they're going to handle it.
Especially now that everyone's in the super intensive protocols.
Have you heard this? It's gotten even stricter now because of everything that's going on. The Raiders have their entire defense out.
Oh, yeah.
AJ, it's insane.
The players, do you think the players are okay with it? Because now all meetings are virtual, right? So they're going home, though. After practice, you're going home.
Maybe. I guess it's just like, it's not really like a full-time job. You just go in there, practice, and go back home. That's a very interesting setup there.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know if I would. Do you think there's a chance that some of these guys might get used to this schedule and they go back like, oh man, I got to be here for like 15 hours a day. I don't want this. Let's go back to the COVID protocol.
Last year, did we not do just fine?
Come on.
We are wasting so much time. Not only players, by the way, how about other coaches? You know what I mean? Assistant coaches that are normally in their offices for 18, 19 hours a day during the season, they're at home right now, and their wife's having them like, yeah, okay, go ahead and clean the diaper over there. And then next year it's like, oh, sorry, babe. Hey, you know how it goes. 20 hours back in there. It's like, yeah, got to do it. I have to watch these. I mean, there's a lot of transition. Because what's it take, 21 days to start a new habit? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah, 21 to start and break.
Yeah, and I feel like even as a society, you're getting a lot of people that are very, very comfortable being at home and doing this whole thing. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all changes everything, because I've been a homebody for a while now. I enjoy it. But the lack of ability to go anywhere and do anything is something that I'm like pretty much over. Yeah. But I think a lot more people are becoming homebodies with this whole work from home thing with other offices. I don't know how they're ever going to get everybody to come back into these tiny little elevators and go up 200 floors and sit in these tiny little squares whenever they've been in their apartments, listening to music, working on their own time. I think the future is going to be very different for everybody, not just in the NFL and the workspace.
Yeah, I think it's going to separate people too. It's going to separate people that are intrinsically motivated. They don't need someone standing over top of them telling them to get something done. Because if you're trying to work from home, a lot of it's on you. You got to be a disciplined individual. So I think it's going to separate too. Like, you're going to see people that are going to rise, and you're going to see a lot of people that are going to fall off because they don't have that self-discipline.
What we're seeing is a separation between the contenders and the pretenders of life.
That's right.
You got Russell Wilson tonight, huh? Covering the 2.5.
Russell Wilson covering 2.5. I think he's going to have a heck of a night. It may be a shootout, but it will be fun to watch these two guys go after each other.
All right. AJ, we appreciate you today. Hammer Don is in 30 minutes, 3:30, right here, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show with myself, Tone Diggs, Gumpy, and Michael Lombardi. Do you have something?
Just wanted to see if you wanted to wrap up the Zito poll.
Oh, the Zito poll. We should hit the Zito poll. You're 100% right. Zito, what is that? Because this is going to determine a lot of what I'm going to do on Hammer Down.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I do have the pinky ring back. I had the best record last weekend.
Congratulations.
It's great to have the pinky ring back, by the way. Thank you. Thank you so much over there. And this week, it's a whole new week. Week 11, who knows what we'll see. Last week, I feel like sports books made a lot of fucking money off of everybody.
Yep.
Our show had more losses than it normally does. And this poll right here is going to help Week 11 jumpstart me for the good, I think. Zito, can you tell us what the poll says?
Yep. Which bet are we hammering tonight? So the under, 9.6%. Seahawks, -2.5, 20.9. Cardinals, +2.5, 34.1. And the over, 35.5%.
Yeah, so it feels like I'm hammering the under tonight. It feels like under is what I'm going for. Kind of fucked up that we're doing a poll to kind of fade our people, but this is kind of why those chandeliers exist in those casinos.
Exactly right.
So that feels like that's going to be my bet for tonight. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for voting on. Hey, by the way, thank you to everybody for
registering to vote.
And then doing your civic duty of
voting
on Zito's massive
poll.
Thank you so much for that. Hammer Don is in 29 minutes. AJ, we'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's for sure.
Woo! Yeah.